Welcome, Wolfpack. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're not even in the right location. I'm Drew, the Sigma Prepper. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a great weekend, even though we are right at the tith end of it. What a week it's been as well. Thank you to everyone who caught up with me yesterday. We got a live signature for the petition going, rocking for you. Set up a thing here so we can see live what Guam with this new petition. It's basically, it was started back in May, but this thing's gathered about more than 1 million signatures in the last 24 hours. Yeah, which is highly representative of the way people are feeling right now. So to kick things off, in fact, really to kick things off, we're supposed to be doing our critical alert.
This is not a test.
It certainly isn't here, and I tell you what, this is the call for a general election. This is how it looks. So this was done, as I say, back in May when I looked at this. 20th of May is the deadline, 2025, right? All petitions run for 6 months. So I'm not sure how long this has been running. I think this has only been running 24 hours. We'll have to work it out. And this thing's like peaking 1.5 million. Now, I scheduled this show earlier in the day. It was when I made the thumbnail. So I thought, what am I going to do with the thumbnail in terms of making it representative of the actual figure? And I sat there watching it, and I took Hugo Bear for a walk. Unfortunately, we've got the Hugo Bear cam ready and set up. But he'll be joining us in part 2. So me and Hugo Bear went for a walk, and I took a note of it and what time it was, and I came back to the office and I looked at what it'd gone up to. I was talking to I was on the phone to actually Debbie Serban, one of our Wolfpack members. I was chatting to her, and I said I left and it was on 9,055. Sorry, 955,000, and I said I bet when I get back it's more than 1 million signatures, and sure enough it was on 1,036,000 or something. So using a bit of extrapolation over the number that was increased over the time that I was gone with Hugo Bear, I calculated about 1.55 million signatures by the time we went live, and I wasn't that far out. It looks like it's actually exponentially increasing in its number, as in it's not going up linearly. It's like literally getting faster and faster as it goes up. And I tell you what, the link's in the description of this video below, in the description, so if you'd like to check out live number yourself, then you can. But this is how I've done it. I've got it on the screen here for us so that we can keep track of it as we go, and see if we can push past that 2 million. I mean, there's like 25, 30 people with us right now, so this should have already have gone up 25 people. So lovely to have you all with us in the chat. That's what we're talking about today, amongst other things. The call for a general election. I would like there to be another general election. I believe the current Labour government has gone back on the promises they laid out in the lead up to the last election. This is the premise of it, and I've seen videos floating around. I'll get copyright strikes if I show them. I'd love to, but we'll find it in another form during tonight's show. But there's lots of videos highlighting all of the promises that were made leading up to the election by the Labour government, and all of those that have been broken, all of the things they said they wouldn't do that they did, all the things they said they would do and didn't. And it's verging on comical. And so as a result, we do have a live poll rocking with us tonight. If you're live in the chat and you're joining us live, then one of the benefits of that is you get to have your say. So go and check out the Discord server if you get a chance, and join us over there. Great place to make friends and learn stuff. But I post there a screenshot of the poll if you're not able to vote live. How happy are you with the Keir Starmer / UK government and their policies so far? So how happy are you with the Keir Starmer government, Labour government so far, and their policies? So you got the option of happy as Larry, undecided, or embarrassingly appalled. Happy as Larry, undecided, or embarrassingly appalled. So please cast your vote in the live chat. That's open for you right now, as well as, don't forget, it would be rude if you don't do the old... That's right. Share the video with your friends and family. It's the only way we can grow, because you know how badly we're held back. Wolfpack, what can I say? Thank you so much for being with me. Cheers to each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me. Love to you all. Don't forget, Sigma Prepper merch. The official mega mug you can get, amongst other things, in the Etsy store. Mega merch link below in the description as well. It's all in there for y'all. Kelly in the house. Great to see you. Let's start at the beginning. I don't even know. Sandy was the first in the chat. Great to see you, my lovely. Pedigree Mongrel next in the house. Government's joke, need him out ASAP. This is the general consensus of the population. Tuck by V1 was next in there. Great to see you, my man. Miss Worm with us as well tonight. Thank you, my darling, for joining us. I hope you've had a great weekend. And you've managed to stay out of the cold and the wet and the wind and with everything else that's going on. Evening, Stevie-O in the house. Great to see you. Thank you, Stevie-O, for contributing. Again, talking of the Discord server, it's a great place to be. Do please share your animal lovers pictures. Couple from Stevie-O there, his pig, which I'm fascinated with. I had a friend of mine in Thailand when I lived there who had a pig, and it was, yeah, lovely. So go and get your pets on there. We've got a main hangout as well, just talking about general stuff, as well as all the main topics of preparedness and survival information, off-grid power. It's got everything you need to know about everything you need to know, all stacked up in each one of these. So the only thing that's been a bit of a change is we've got the public after party rooms here now. So we've got the after party chat, which is just stuff we dump in there while we're doing our voice chat, but you need to connect into this after party one voice channel below, and that's where we have our after parties. Now usually it's only for the VIP patrons at the top there with the crowns. You won't see that if you're not a paying supporting member on Patreon. Thank you to those that are. We have our after parties, but for the next couple of weeks we're letting normal members of the public Wolfpack join us for the after parties. We'll be doing that tonight as well, so if you would like to talk to me and the rest of the Wolfpack crew one-to-one on voice after the show, you can join us in the after party, and that's how we do. And as you can see, we'll go through the show. Sigma mindset quotes we've got coming up next. We'll be doing a full global threat analysis report before we get right into it, some other stuff. We'll be doing some other bits and pieces as well during the night, plus join our Wolfpack on Discord so for the after party, which would be a good laugh. So please join us on there. It'd be good to see you doing your thing. Who else was it? Who else? Pedigree Mongrel, Chaos in the house. What was the 3 PMs in the last 3 years? Yeah, it's not a good look, is it? Ready Prepper 1 in the house. Great to see you, my man. Thank you for joining us. Pat Riot, our most recent VIP patron member joining. Thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate it. Daily Survival, moderator of all moderators, here with us as well. Robert Foster in the house. Loving a tune. Thank you, my man. I've just remastered that, actually. So in the next day or two, I've remastered that tune. My lyrics I've kept the same, but I've just enhanced some of the vocals and things as well, and I've got a few extra post-production things to pop in. So I'm looking forward to that, Robert Foster. Watch this space. Oh dear, Kazza, my darling, there she is in the house. Lovely to see you. And Polonium as well is with us, and the Hungry Tourist. Good to see you joining us. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate you. Purple Flurple as well in the house. Do you know, I made it an hour earlier than I usually go live, Purple Flurple, just for you. But because tonight's pretty much to do with the, as the main topic tonight, one of the main stories is obviously the calling of the general election petition. For those that don't know, any more than 100,000 signatures is enough for it to be brought up in Parliament, so 1.5 million. But there's no legal obligation for it to do anything, but it's a good way of the country to show their consensus of discontent with the way that the country's being run and the policies have been introduced and the laws that have been created, and let alone the financial things they've been doing with the farmers and so on, right? Flat Cap Gaming in the house, working back from May 2025, petition began on the 19th of this month. Yeah, it's literally only just been going a couple of days, Flat Cap Gaming, and look at it, rocking already at nearly 1.6 million. I'm thinking by the end of this show, it'll be on 2 million signatures. I mean, we are at like 9:15 in the UK, and clearly this is a UK inhabitant thing, so therefore we've probably got about another 2 hours realistically before a big drop off where people start going to bed here in the UK. So we've probably got about 2 hours worth of voting for today, and the speed at which this number's going up will probably start to slow down. But the link's in the description of this video if you want to join in the fun. Seeing we think to be careful what we're wishing for. Someone, if at all possible, could be worse. Just saying, 100%. But again, this won't do anything politically, Kaza, really, in terms of there's no obligation for them to even bring anything up in Parliament, and they probably will bring it up in Parliament, but it will be on a day when there's no one there, right? But it's more for the people to show their discontent with the way things are being run. So i.e. that includes everything, doesn't it, really? That includes the changes to the tax laws with things like the private schools, making it less accessible than it was, some of the changes made to the budgets of things of like the NHS, stuff like the ULEZ continual push. There's so many things that the farmers, inheritance tax thing, which I did a show about, not to mention even the stuff going on with Ukraine people aren't happy about. And then on top of that, you've got the feeling by the people that they're being treated as second-class citizens against visitors here. That seems to be a big thing on the interwebs that people have got a problem with. So there's so many things, not to mention the scandals as well attached to not just him but a lot of his cabinet, with things like the gifts and things that were received and not declared, and it's just a shit show basically. But there's another really big thing about Keir Starmer that you're not supposed to know, because I think there's a D notice out on it, so you're not allowed to talk about it. But there's a few of my close friends, I have told them what it is, but you're not supposed to know, and it's really bad. And if it went public, then that would be the end of the Labour government and Keir Starmer's career, basically. So it's pretty tricky. Dot forgot his frontman for bigger things planned. Hi, cousin. Hope you're good in the hood. Debbie Sermon, just talking about you. Did I just summon you here by mentioning your name? To not share all that happy is incredibly rude behaviour from Larry, isn't it? I mean, the fact that we'll see how the vote poll works out during the night as we go through, as people vote in our live poll as well we've got going. How happy are you with the British government and their policies? I hope you voted live in the poll, Debbie. So, is that who I think it is? If this thing will let me scroll down, it is as well. UK Urban Prepper in the house. Vote with no confidence, please. 100%. Lovely to see you, my man. I hope you've had a good weekend. Share it on your, everyone do your bit. Share it on your platforms. Thank you so much. Good shout out. It's the only way this thing's gonna grow. Evening all. Snapdragon in the house. Oh, you big tease. People will be getting back from the pub in the next hour, so it will go up a bit shortly. I mean, to be honest, yeah. And even people going to the pub and people being told about what's going on with the vote and that, and they get home, as Miss Worm there saying, and they come and see the Sigma Prepper channel and they see the link in the description and they jump themselves on there and hit the silence petition button. And this has got until the 20th of May 2025 to run, and this thing's only been going for like a day or two. Lich. And it only needed 100,000 to be passed through, to be something that needs to be talked about in Parliament, to be considered for debate. So it's to consider the possibility of maybe considering the possibility of perhaps talking about it maybe in Parliament is what it is, yeah. But this is the only thing that people get as our way of showing our discontent with the way things are. So I think what we need to be doing first and foremost is to be doing the Sigma mindset quotes. Let's get into it. Thank you to those that have submitted your quotes over on the Discord server. Do it yourself. Right. This is the bit where we get to just take a bit of a breather, yeah? Tune our mindset before we get into the gnarliness. So are you a Sigma type? This is what it's all about, you know? We're not alphas, we're not betas, we don't want to be telling people what to do, we don't want to be told what to do, we just want to be independent, self-reliant, gain our knowledge and skill set as fast as we can, so we don't have to rely on anyone else when it hits the fan. That's what we're all about. Does that sound like you? Because you're probably a Sigma personality type, if that's the case. So this is how we roll with our quotes. Another one of my own personal quotes from my book. In survival, your greatest asset is not what you have, but what you know. In survival, your greatest asset is not what you have, but what you know. Don't forget, if you'd like to submit your favourite quote, inspiring Sigma mindset quotes, you can go do that over on the Discord server, looking for the brain icon. Next one in is from Daily Survival, moderator of all moderators as well for Sigma Prepper Channel. Thank you, my darling, for being you. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Eckhart Tolle. I tell you what, a brilliant quote. I really like this one, Daily Survival. I might even have to steal this for my book, because I do need one more, but I've got a special quote specifically picked out for each chapter that goes before each of the chapters in my book, right? The Ultimate Guide to Prepping. And it's like, whatever the present moment contains, this is perfect for the mental mastery chapter, because, you know, this is very much like the Buddhist kind of take on things, Daily Survival, yeah? It's like the Stoic. It's very much a Stoic view of things. So thank you for that one. This one's in from CJ. All tyrannies rule through fraud and force, but once the fraud is exposed, they must rely exclusively on force. It looks like there's a typo in there. See if you can see it. All tyrannies rule through fraud and force, but once the fraud is exposed, they must rely exclusively on force. George Orwell. Of course it is. Thank you, CJ, for that one. Of course, if you would like to if you think you've got one better than that, go and get yourself over on a Discord server. Links in the description below this video, and you'll see there the Sigma Quotes room, and that's where you need to go. So thank you to those that did. Really appreciate it. CJ, Daily Survival. Thank you. Right, we're back. Nicely done. Yeah, exactly, the fraud. Rely. Fraud. This too shall pass. No, I think the quote for Labour is just the quote for the... Is it Satanism, which is do as thou wilt? Sound familiar? Do as thou wilt. What is that? Do as thou wilt is a century tenet of Thelema, a philosophical and magical framework created by Aleister Crowley, yes. It means that people should do what they want as long as there's no others. Do as thou wilt. Is this officially kind of Satanism, though? Looks like I've looked this up before for a show I did. Let us know your thoughts live in the chat. But anyway, do as thou wilt. I think it's a Satanist-based thing. Thelema. But that's what I think the Labour government runs by. I shall take your stuff, more like. Check it out. We're nearly at 1.6 million signatures as well. And we're not sure quite how long that's been going, but it's about 24 hours or so. Do as thou wilt. In it harm none, Wicker. Is it? Happy to dial in when you want, bud. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do then. We usually do that on part 2, so because I've got to bang through stuff like the headlines and the memes and stuff like that. And then when we come out of that, we'll be doing a part 2. And when we come back part 2, we've got all the stuff we're going to be talking about. And that's a great time for you to call in as a guest. So that's done then. That's a done deal. Don't forget, if in the future, if you'd like to join us on a live call-in, you've got the live guests room down here with a clapperboard, and that's like the waiting room to come live, basically. Looks like we've had somebody... Oh, yes, my boys. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly's little purdy cats. What a beautiful little face. We've got 2 black cats just like that. Beautiful eyes. He's lovely looking. He looks really soft. Thank you so much for sharing. Really appreciate it, my darling. And Hugo Bear will be with us as well in part 2. This is what he looks like. with his tongue hanging out. I must get some new ones of him on there. He's a South African Mastiff Boerboel with sand on his nose. So go and share your pets and everything else you can do over on the Discord server. I spent a long time putting it together. It's a great community there. So much information and knowledge combined over there with survival and prepping and all things good. So what we're going to do is we're going to bust through the SHTF Intel Global Threat Analysis, and then we'll have a few bits and pieces, and then part 2 we're going to have live guest UK Urban Prepper. Are we honoured? That's right. Yes, we're honoured. Hit the like button if you haven't done already. But in the meantime, we need to be busting through the headlines and seeing what Guam around the world. Global Threat Analysis. We your host, Drew Siegel. Right. Thank you everyone for joining me here on the Global Threat Analysis, prepping for SHTF 2024. Can you see what I see? 1.6 million signatures in lich 24 hours. I think that's a statement, which is the best we can hope for at this point, is to just simply make a statement, if nothing else, in terms of what people's true feelings are. And of course you can show your true feelings in the UK in regard to the UK government. You don't have to be British or living in the UK to vote in my live poll that's running live, and of course over on the Discord server I did a screenshot of it so we can see. We have this one here. How happy are you with the Keir Starmer / UK government and their policies so far? Your options are happy as Larry, undecided, or embarrassingly appalled. So that's what we're choosing from. You'll see that live in the chat if you're with us live. For those that weren't able to see us live, I've just posted a screenshot on the Discord server so you can refer to at a later date. And of course the results of tonight's poll will also then be pasted and posted onto Discord. Thank you everyone for being with us. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Let us know what's going on in the news where you are, and we can talk about that as well as we go through. Pedigree Mongrel in the house. Starmer is trying out a commission fully apply. Isn't it just the minute he said he was more loyal to Davos than to the Parliament, then I think we all knew everything we needed to know about then. Too TK, like it. Not heard that. I've been considering things beginning with the letter M. Mad Hatter. Oh, thank you everyone for being with us. I do appreciate it. Absolute, totally, super proud to have built this wolf pack. You're such a great bunch. Thank you everyone. Love, peace and progress to the pack. Yummy. Can't wait for part 2 as well with old Mikey Poos from the UK Urban Prepper channel. Go and make sure you subscribe to him as well, because whatever he doesn't tell you about, I tell you about, and whatever I don't tell you about, he tells you about, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Pat Riot as well. Buttock clench level 4. Yeah, that's much more, but you know, that's a much more accurate indicator than the DEFCON, isn't it? The buttock clench level. I like it, Pat. Thank you for being our most recent VIP Patreon member. Couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you so very much. Code Brown says Baloney, haven't it? Oh man. So let's have a little butchers just through the headlines, and we'll see what the mainstream's saying about anything, if anything. But we are way beyond 1.6 million now. So this is the headlines. Let's hit really deep fresh. So we've got the most recentest of all recentest posts. Yeah. 39 minutes ago, storm, Bert, flood, absolutely devastating, says Welsh FM. So we talked about that last night on the show. We went through a few bits and pieces. So we'll spark that open and see what's Guam. But you can see not looking particularly great. And, oh, look at that. Is that scaffolding and wall at the same time? The winds have been pretty strong here. Let us know if you're in the UK, if you've been experiencing bad winds. Should we see if there's any? Cool. Wow, look at the flow. So yeah, it's definitely looking like that capacity is just about on the verge. And think of the damage in all those high street shops. Look, it's all above the floor level and be going in the shop, man. It's just a disaster. So I was interested to see, though, if there was actually anything on here to do with what is actually going on in the UK that everyone else knows about, which is the general election going viral, the petition, right? It's just clocking up every time we look at it, right? So I believe the current Labour government has gone back on the promises they laid out in the lead up to last election. Therefore, would like there to be another general election. This is the premise of it, right? You only need 100,000 of these to get it to theoretically be talked about in Parliament as a real, you know, serious kind of debate item. If there's more than 100,000 signatures, is considered significant. So what does 1.6 million signatures say? And I'll tell you what, that's not even started yet, because Lich has only been going a while, and this thing's going to be running until 20th of May. And the UK government hasn't even finished making mistakes and making policies that no one likes yet. So there's going to be more and more people coming here to this thing. And the links in the description below this video if you'd like to go there and look at it live yourself and try clicking some buttons. But what I'm interested to see is it being talked about anywhere? This is how you know who's controlled and who isn't. Because I'm not. Should we do a Control F? Let's do a Control F, Drew. Yes, let's. Control F. Find. Petition. Oh, look. Bottom left corner is red, meaning there's no results on this entire page of news stories in the whole wide world at the moment to do a petition. Let's do election. No, not even the word election. Oh, amazing. Signatures? No. You see, it's so obvious. Lich. Not a Nelly. And again, I'm being specifically UK as well. Let's do... That's all we can do, innit? England, I mean... This is a UK thing, not an England thing. But we can do it anyway. Let's do the find and replace. Let's look for petition. No. Let's have a look for... what else are we doing? Election. No. Literally, it's like it's not happening. I love it. I love it. Let's go world just for a laugh. Might as well, just because it's free. For the time being. So what are we doing? Petition. No. Election. Just how big was Donald Trump's election victory? Is that it? Buffalo and TV battles on Irish elect. That's it, just those two. So Lich, man, nothing at all anywhere to do with anything at all. And this thing is obviously, everyone knows about it, right? I mean, it's been all over. Like, I heard about it through TikTok and I saw people showing the crazy numbers and it had only just gone live. And so everybody was talking about it on TikTok, and then I saw a bunch of posts on X about it as well. You know, it's basically going all over the place. Let's have a look and see what X is saying about it. Got one here, look. This is Keir Starmer's own page. He's not mentioning it. Of course he's not going to. We will set out radical reforms. You see, he's always going on about radicalization and people being, you know, radical extremists and stuff like that. But then he's himself talking about radical stuff, yeah? To get Britain back to work, paving the way. Because you hear about this, like, basically, if you're not earning money and you're not doing a 9 till 5, you're basically a lazy bum and you need to get off your jacksie. People who voted for Labour Party, 9.7 million. People who didn't vote for the Labour Party, 57 million. Yeah? Absolutely stupid argument. Let's apply this logic to Brexit. Blah. Says Bluehead Melon Usk. Oh, we got it back. 17.4 million voted to leave. Nearly double what voted Labour in. They're talking about using this person's silly counter argument. At least 10 million of those 57 million are under 18. You see, this is A closer call. This wasn't a Labour win. It was a collapse of the Tories. The Labour margin win is brittle and hollow. And as someone who's done some metrics on that, look. And you can see the shrinking, tightening concentration. And less of a majority, basically. It's not the way I would have done that graph, but never mind. 1.1 million people who signed a petition to have another general election. 56 million who didn't. But again, the way to look at it is how many people typically would be signing petitions. And when you look at what petitions usually end up on as a final closing signatory total number, it's nowhere near this. It never even gets to 1 million. Shall we see if we can find that out? Let's see if we can see what that number is so we can be realistic about it. Perplexity is probably going to be the best thing for that. What is the typical end result of signatures for petitions submitted to the UK government? Let's just see if we can get a number on it, right, to see what's normal. So only a small percent, I'll just read you some facts that I'm coming up with for you. Right, so research indicates that only a small percentage of petitions, approximately 4.5%, reach the 10,000 signature threshold necessary for government response, and an even smaller fraction, 0.6%, achieve 100,000 signatures for parliamentary debate. So 0.6% of petitions even get to 100,000. Yeah, only 4.5% get to 10,000, right? I wanted to get a number on it, but I suppose that does. It's a good enough number for me. It shows how rare it is to get more than 100,000 signatures, right? So if a petition reaches 100,000 signatures, it's considered for debate into Parliament by the Petitions Committee. While most petitions that achieve this level are debated, there are instances where petitions may not be debated if similar issues have been discussed recently or if there are upcoming debates on related topics. So, but this is what it says in terms of overall impact and effectiveness, is that despite the structured response system, the actual impact of these petitions can be limited, and this is where it gets down to just how much of an achievement and how crazy this is and how viral this is. Because it says research indicates that only a small percentage of petitions, approximately 4.5%, reach the 10,000 signature threshold necessary for government response, and an even smaller fraction, 0.6%, achieve 100,000 signatures for parliamentary debate. Furthermore, many members of Parliament, MPs, believe that while petitions can raise awareness and engage public interest, they often do not lead to significant policy changes. Only about 23% of MPs surveyed felt that e-petitions influence government policy making effectively. But the fact that 23% felt that it does influence government, and that's on the basis of just typical petitions that will strike over the 100,000 mark. When we start seeing like 2 million, 3 million, perhaps even 10 million signatures by the time this gets to May 2025 when it expires, right? Don't forget, this has got 6 months to run yet. This has just started and it's already gone wallop. This has gone up like nearly 100,000 since the show began. I am almost feeling inclined to update my thumbnail. And just put 2 million plus question mark as the number. Oh dear. So also in conclusion, while the UK UK Parliament's petition website provides a platform for public engagement with government processes. The outcomes often do not translate into tangible changes in policy or legislation. The system serves more as a tool for public expression rather than a guaranteed pathway to political action. This is kind of what I said earlier, wasn't it, when we began the show, that in terms of like legally there's not really like there's any obligation for anything to happen, and there's lots of outs that they put in the back door as ways to circumvent if it doesn't go the way they want it, or there's a petition there that they don't like because it's gaining traction. But the fact that a petition like this gains this amount of traction in the amount of time it has, it does act indeed as the global, or as the national consensus as to how happy or not people are with the current government. And if we are a true democracy, if there's a large proportion, in fact the majority of the population is not happy with the way things are being done, then it's not being representative of the people. If there's that many people that are, in the words of the live poll options you've got tonight in the live chat, thank you to those that have voted already. If you're with us live, please hit the like button, really appreciate it, and share this video on your social media to help your friends and family to understand what we're facing here around the world and the threats that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive is a Wolfpack thing. You know how we do. Cheers everyone, really appreciate you all being with us. But you can vote live in the poll I've got rocking on the channel tonight. Yeah, how happy are you with the Keir Starmer government here? I did a screenshot onto the Sigma Prepper Discord server, which is a great place to go make friends and learn stuff. So how happy are you with the Keir Starmer UK government and their policies so far? Your options are happy as Larry, undecided, or embarrassingly appalled. I won't tell you what the vote's looking like so far, but get yourself over there and be heard on there. It'd be lovely to see you cast your vote. And that's exactly what people have been doing here in the UK over just the last 24 hours, which is where, you know, I would like there to be another general election. I believe the current Labour government has gone back on their promises they laid out in the lead up to the last election. Sign this petition. 1.6 million people have done that already, and it keeps going up. And I'm wondering if I'm almost feeling obliged to say we're going to just stay live until this thing hits 2 million signatures. But the problem with that, if I extrapolate the numbers forward and I take into consideration that it's like nearly 10 p.m. in the UK and it's the UK voters that are going to be the ones signing that petition more than anyone. I'm not sure if you can sign it as a non-British citizen, but perhaps non-British citizens that are watching this should try and give it a go. Links in description of this video just to give it a go to see what the score is for that. I imagine there must be some way to limit the responses to British citizens. I'm not sure, but either way, yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to say, you know, I'm going to commit to staying live until that goes to 2 million. But once it goes past 11 p.m, I wonder how many more people are going to be online. I'm underestimating it, aren't I? I'm just not going to talk about it. So let's get through it then, and we'll get out the other side. We got part 2, don't forget, coming out. We've got UK Urban Prepper coming on live. My main man, Mikey Poos, come and chat about everything survival and prepping. And, you know, totalitarianism and civil unrest and things like that have been something on the top of the list of SHTF scenarios, which are one of the things that could cause us big problems, and the reason why we need to be prepared and ready psychologically, physically, and everything else. So let's have a little blast through then. Obviously, we've had a look at the headlines. There's not a lot going on. It never does on a weekend, to be honest. The Watchers, good place to go and see what's going on with the Earth changes. Similar to what the only thing really new to add from yesterday's report is, of course, the US West Coast atmospheric river, landslides in California. We've got some friends, part of our Wolfpack over in California and the West Coast. So I hope you guys are safe. 4 people unalive due to the storm. 2 in northwest Washington caused by falling trees, and 2 in California due to flooding and rough seas. Over 1 million customers were left without power at the storm's peak. This is exactly why you need to have some preparations for power. And more than just a couple of USB battery banks ideally, but even that's a good start, right? Approximately 133 inches What's he talking about? Remain without power. Oh, 133 in Oregon. That's just a tiny number. Sorry. I thought, why they put 133 in there? Is this one here. Santa Rosa set a new 3-day rainfall record with 322 millimeters, 12.68 inches. That's what's all the inches. Nearly 20 landslides occurred between Wednesday and Thursday, including a boulder falling on Highway 281. So yeah, it's all going on there. And again, the power outage is the thing that's going to, people are going to come unstuck with the first and foremost. So it's the thing we rely on the most. It's definitely a thing you don't want to miss from your preps, right? So earthquakes are ticking up a little bit. We're on 44 at the moment, which is about 10 more than normal. Looks like a big old little flurry over here on Puerto Rico. If we click this button here, 20 of those 44, nearly half the earthquakes in the world at the moment are just in Puerto Rico. So interesting one. We'll keep our eye on that. But that is it's not necessarily abnormal. We do get this little flurry around here, but it's not usually 20. So that's what we got going on with that. Next up then, solar flares. Let's have a little look and see what the sun's up to. We were concerned about this 3901 active region, but it looks like it's calmed down as it come into Earth-facing view. We do have this other cluster there on the eastern limb, on the left-hand side. It's reversed for the sun. 3905 and 3906 active regions look like they could do something. Let's have a look at the solar disk and see what I'm talking about. You can see this 3901 bang center at the moment. That seems to have calmed itself down. There was an M-class solar flare off that just as it was coming into view off the eastern limb. But you've got this 3906 and 3905 over there. They seem quite close to each other, so I'm kind of hoping they don't join and find themselves some fancy business. But there's a fair old number of sunspots on the disk. Look, so that whole trend that we've been seeing over the last months and years, to be honest, with the sunspots count being so way off the chart, it's not even funny. And this next month of November, we're expecting predicted values of 111 sunspots, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be an awful lot more than that, as we saw in October with the predicted value of 110, and we actually saw 166. So 60% more than was predicted. And we've been seeing this trend for the whole year. It's the same as well with the radio flux progression, look, which is a similar derived number from the number of visible sunspots. So this is it's continuing its trend, but other than that, there's nothing really of any significance on its way. So there's nothing to worry about there. So I'll tell you what, we'll have a quick look at the cryptos. Make sure there's nothing nasty. There's nothing nasty going on there. I mean, it has dropped down a little bit. It was on $99,000. I don't think it ever did bust past that $100,000 mark, but it seems to be stabilizing. We still got 3.3 trillion in the mix, so cryptos is looking good. Gold and silver, again, not doing anything different to yesterday because, of course, it's the weekend and the gold silver markets are closed. Gonna have myself a sip of tea. Yummy. Don't forget, you can get your own official Sigma Pepper merch. Link in description. Welcome to Porkster. Let's give him a Wolfpack love. Thank you for joining the Discord server. Great place to hang out. Check it out down the bottom here. Look, exclusive merch. These are the lyrics to the tune that I make for the show. But here's the old official mug merch and my official ultimate hotspot, the offline access point for survival information. When the grid goes down, there's no internet. So go and check out the Etsy store. Great way to support me, as well as things like doing the Patreon VIP stuff. I really appreciate those that are keeping the show alive despite everything else out there trying to keep me back. But we don't get kept back. That's just not how we roll. So I think what we're going to do now we've done that, we should check out some memes. What do you reckon? Because thank you for sending them in. Got to break it up. We've got to break up the misery. You know how we do. Breaking up the misery. So, if you'd like to share some memes, get yourself over to the Discord server. You'll see the Your Memes room. Looks like that with a laughy face. This is what these people did starting with CJ. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Caveman styly. Bronze Age. If it keeps escalating like it is with Russia and Ukraine and Ting, with the ICBMs and the Storm Shadow rockets, it's a little bit like, reminds me of that, is it Einstein quote? I know not what weapons will be used in World War III, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Something like that. Next up, CJ went woomph and bunged a load in there, so let's get through them. I'll never waste my money on dumb stuff ever again. You know, I wouldn't call that a waste. Check it out, yeah? Duck boat. Like it. I wouldn't mind that. Do you know what? In terms of prepping and stuff and survival, I don't know if anyone's been in the UK anyway. There's a place called Norfolk Broads that we went to one time. And we rented a boat. Not as cool as this one, but we rented a boat. It's like a little electric boat. It's like a milk float. And it's like the Broads that go around. There's a few places where it opens up into a massive lake. And we hired this electric boat thing for the day. And it was like maybe £100 or something for the day. It was pretty tidy. You know, it had like a sofa, and it had a little galley, it had a toilet, you had a little cooker with a little gas bottle. And I'll tell you what, it was pretty good. You could fit like a good 7-8 people in there quite easily, quite comfortably. And I thought, you know what, this is a much better solution for if it hits the fan, is to just get on your little boat on the Norfolk Broads even, right? I mean, it's a way away for us to get to, but I'm just saying, just the principle of being on a boat in the middle of the lake, for example, just drop an anchor or whatever, right? As long as you got your gas cooker on there, you got your fresh water. It's a fresh water anyway because it's a lake, so as long as you got your lifesaver jerry can or your Berkey filter on board, however you're rolling, and you got your rice and your pasta and your tins and stuff. A couple of solar panels on the roof, right? You got your electricity being generated the whole time, and it just makes you inaccessible to people from the coastline. Even with the things like in the UK, you got to worry about slingshots, air rifles and stuff like that. If you're like 100, 200 meters away from the edge in the middle of a lake in your boat when shit's hit the fan, I just feel like you're going to be much more likely to be safer in that environment than you are in a terraced house in an urban location in a city somewhere. Do you know what I mean? With like gangs raiding everywhere. I'm just saying, let me know your thoughts live in the chat, because I'm just waffling. Jenny Simon in the house, great to see you, my darling. Talking of the chat. Nelly on the land as well is with us, great to see you. The Hungry Tourist, can I have a link for Discord? In the description of the video, but yeah, Daily Survival's in the house, keeping the links flowing in the live chat. Thank you, my darling. Moderate all moderators. Purple Flurple, be interested to see if any newspapers dare to put this on their front page tomorrow morning. I will take a pic. Well, as I showed looking on the mainstream, it's like you search for it with like find and replace for the word petition, and it's nowhere. Niada. Niente. The good thing about rain, it fills my IBCs. Yeah, good time to be getting your water supplies filled up. They added the shaded area only recently to soften the drastic trailing off. Porkster is me, says the Hungry Tour. Thank you. I'll remember that. It'll be embedded in my mind forever. Did it hit a little over 100k in the end? I mean, the problem is big numbers like 100k is like, there's a lot of people have stop losses. There's a lot of people who have like sell orders when it gets to 100k. So you have to burn through all of that before it will break through the top, because there's loads of people who just set whole numbers. It's just a psychology of marketing and trading, right? There's a psychology there of what numbers people tend to put their sell orders at and buy orders at, and this is why it takes a while for prices to drop through a floor and to push past the ceiling. It's like 100 grand is probably one of the biggest challenges for Bitcoin to ever push through. Anyway, just a private little chat between me and Chaos. Hello, my man. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Tell me one day, if we work really hard in 200 years, we'll be building hanging cigarettes for some guy in fancy rope, innit? Oh, man. A boat is good, but I can only eat so much fish and seaweed. No, I'm talking about having cans, girlfriend. I'm talking about having loaded up with, like, non-perishables, and like we said, well, like we showed the other week, and like UK Urban Prepper, when I was a guest on his show, we talked about with the food storage and things. Yeah, just some tins and some, vacuum rack rice and stuff. You've got your gas cooker there in the little boat. It was really cool, man. I mean, you could be sleeping in it as well. I just think you're like well away from the shoreline and just out of dodge. I need to get my life together, but I'm kind of waiting to see if the world is going to end before I put any real effort in. Who's feeling this right now? Thank you, CJ, for these memes. Appreciate it, man. I need to get my life together, but I'm kind of waiting to see if the world is going to end before I put any real effort in. There's a lot of this whole silent quitting going on, isn't it? Let us know live in a chat secretly. I won't tell anyone, right? We won't tell anyone. We'll just keep it within the wolf pack, right? But let us know live in a chat if you secretly, silently quitted at your job yet or not. Perps doesn't even need to answer me. Oh dear. But let us know, because it definitely seems to be a trend. And it's not a generational thing. It's not like, the Gen Alphas and all that and Gen Zs. Nah, this is like across the board. It's even Gen Xers and stuff who are just getting to an age and they just can't be dealing with it. They're just kind of done with the corporate thing, man. That's the problem. I gave up giving up, says Abby Limpet. Brilliant. Look, Kaz is totally 100% fucking over it. Just going through the motions. I'd need a DeLorean to do that. Brilliant. What we'd all do for a DeLorean right now. But I tell you, where would you be going back to? Give me a year. Right? The next 20 messages I want to see in the live chat, you lot, right? Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. The next 20 messages I want to see in there is the year with your DeLorean, the purple flirtballs supplying us all with DeLoreans. What's the year you would go back to? All I want is a year. Bosh. Let me know. I'd give up beer, but I'm no quitter. Brilliant. Next up then, I don't think you realise how close we came to a world-ending event. I like this one. Look, you got Coca-Cola there and Mentos lorry crashed on the highway. That could have been an explosive situation. Kelly's in there with 1796. Look, isn't it 1776? Or this is 20 years after 1776. So where things have settled down a bit, innit? The opposite. I worked until I almost passed away. Then I started working again until I couldn't walk. Fuck me, man. 1998 was a bloody blinding year. I mean, I reckon we're very close on that way, Urban Prepper. I was just thinking as I asked the question, don't for 1 minute think that I have all this thought out before the show. No, this is all just live on the fly as usual, right? I'm just John C there with 1997, he's got a similar feeling. Miss Worm 1976. Love it. 69. Look. There's a couple of 76s. Scottish Prepper there with 1996. Daily Survival's going 87. Let us know in the comments below if you're watching this afterwards, what year you want to go back to if you had a DeLorean. My childhood, says Nelly. Is this your plausible deniability way to not reveal your age in any way without a year? My childhood. 1960, if I'm returning to my hometown, talking to the old timers, the 60 to 80s time period was the best. Or if it's any year, 1858, I thought we meant it had to be alive. Why 1858? It's going to be something to do with your doing the medieval or the, sorry, not the medieval, doing the Civil War reenactment thing, probably. Anyway, moving on. But if you get rid of government, what do you replace it with? When you remove cancer, what do you replace it with? Huh? Like it. This one's in from Mark. Thank you, Mark, for your memes. Once I became a parent, I finally understood the scene where Yoda gets so tired of answering Luke's questions, he just dies. What is that? That reminds me of the, is it Men in Black? Yeah, with the little alien inside the head with the control sticks. It's like, and then he dies just before he gets to tell you. I'm going late 1700s, says Sandy. AD 6000. I'd like to have been alive when it was like the pyramids were just finished off and it was the grand opening and shit like that. I'll be fascinated to see what's going on back then. Or everyone on their hoverboards and stuff. Yeah. Do you know, it's funny because there was a thing, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but it always stays with me. And there was like a podcast with a paleontologist and some other guy and some other scientific research, and they were talking about, you know, ancient times and how technology seems like it's gone backwards. You know, we look at their structures and you know, what they were able to achieve and the stuff they built back then compared to now. And there's always this sort of mystique about how it was done and the technology they had. And so there's this whole debate about, oh, well, you know, we would have found gears and stuff, you know, we would have found like these special technology, you know, we haven't really found any like gears and things. And the guy says, well, I don't know if you watch Star Trek, but when you watch Star Trek, there's never any gears anywhere there. You know, it's like replicators, it's, you know, teleporting, it's hoverboards, it's, you know, ion thrusters and so on. It's like, it's a valid point, you know, technology doesn't always have to be in the form of gears and wheels and motors and stuff like that. And I thought it was a great assertion that equally you don't see any gears on Star Trek Next Generation and so on for that kind of technology. So it helps you sort of think about it slightly differently, right? Next up from Scottish Prepper, I like this one. Turn any sofa into a sofa bed by telling your wife to calm down. Fucking brilliant. Cheers to that, Brian. Like it. When someone asks me about 2025, things are now in motion that cannot be undone. Thank you, Toby Nixon. Another one of our new Wolfpack members over on the Discord server. Thank you for joining us. Another one from Toby. Look, me in 2022. Look at it. Brilliant. Like it. Nicely done. Nicely done. Don't forget, people who subscribe to this channel tend to find that they've been unsubscribed from the channel, so it's strongly recommended to do the bell. All notifications is one of the ways to tell YouTube you don't want to be unsubscribed from me when you're not looking, because it's been happening quite a lot. Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm so glad we haven't... Hasn't she just disappeared from everywhere? I haven't seen her since. Rightfully so. My mouth waters when I smell steak. I wonder if the same happens to vegans when they mow the lawn. What is it with people and vegans with memes at the moment? We had one the other day as well, last week, didn't we? Think about, was it the clown shoes? Yeah, walking in my feet as a vegan. And there's the picture of someone putting on the clown shoes. Oh dear. Weren't all the tombs robbed before anything was really documented? Also, the Vatican most likely holds it all never. Most people make fun of the British Museum having the whole thing stocked up in their thing. 21 again. That steak looks awesome. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, look, and we're back to the beginning. So thank you very much for those that submitted their memes over on the Discord server. You can do that yourself, of course. Just links in the description below if you would like to go and include your memes over on the Discord server. Let's go up to the top here in the main public lounge. You got your memes. So get them in there. I won't show you them because they'll be coming up in the next episode. But animal lovers, looks like we've had... Oh, look, J Daddy. There's our lovely Pip. What would Pip be? My dad's doggy and Mummy Mo. Love to you, Mummy Mo and Daddy. And lovely to see Pip in there. I'll have to get one of the ones in there, Dad, with Pip and Hugo Bear. So bear this in mind, right? This is my dad's little dog, right? And our dog, Hugo Bear, is like 62 kilos, 130 pound South African Mastiff, right? And when you see those two together, it's so funny. He'll be in with us actually in part 2, come to think of it, because thank you for those people who send the memes. But yeah, then go and add them over on the Discord server. But yeah, Hugo will be in here over on the part 2 as our little guest when we have our part 2. Little break time when we get ourselves a refreshment, new cup of tea, checking in on it, 1.65 million signatures. We're going to see if by 11 p.m, which will probably be going past 11 p.m. tonight for another hour, we're wondering if this is going to end up at 2 million signatures in 24 hours, which is ludicrous. Ludicrous. So thank you everyone in the live chat. Let us know if there's, depends on what lawn they're mowing, innit? Really, a good 6 inches of compost would be good, and add 6 inches of fresh compost every time you plant. Problem is, not so easy to make compost. I live by the ocean. I can use seaweed. Like it. What's the numbers? I'm totally lost. I was born in 73. So I think I would probably say, I mean, I did say the other night when we were talking about the life and times and things, and I mentioned how, like, the late 90s in terms of, I think that was what we were talking about, progressive versus conservative mindset, right? And I was saying about how there comes a point where you reach the peak of society, and after that peak, up until that peak, you need to be progressive. After that peak, you need to be conservative to conserve that peak, right? And so that was the conversation we were having. And I remember I mentioned about how it was kind of like the late 90s that seemed to have the best of both worlds, because the technology that was there with the information availability, with the internet and things like that were just starting up. But equally, you still had that sort of fun, traditional, free, fun-loving kind of environment. The music was still good. The movies were still good. It wasn't all agendaed up. But yet we had the internet there that would progress, obviously, and become what it is today as our way of communication, social media, entertainment, and so on, right? And knowledge, more importantly. So hit the like button if you forgot. Thank you. Good shout, my darling. Thank you everyone for being with us. So we got loads of stuff coming up. So don't go anywhere. So what are we missing? Anything? I don't know. I think we've banged through it, innit? But we're going to be doing more. We're going to be following what's going on with the... We've got some tweets and things to show you, plus a couple of video clips that I'll be showing you. So let's get out of here in the meantime, and then we can go and do all that fun stuff. See you in a second. Thank you very much to everyone. Don't forget, memes and quotes. We're back. We're back with minimal amounts of tea. It's really despicable levels of lack. Yeah, so we're gonna have to sort that out. 1.656 million signatures already. Don't forget links in this video. Lots of people are jumping on it. It's going absolutely crazy out there. People showing their disdain. And don't forget, you can do the same here over on the Discord channel. Right here on the YouTube channel. If you're live with us, you can vote in our own live poll we've got rocking. I did do a screenshot of that over on the Discord server for your convenience, for those that couldn't see it. For those that couldn't see it originally, to be here live, and this is how it is. How happy are you with the Keir Starmer UK government and their policies so far? And your options are happy as Larry, undecided, or embarrassingly appalled. So please cast your vote. You'll see it in the live chat if you're with us live. If not, I'll be calling the end to it later in the show after part 2, and we'll be seeing how those results ended up in the end. I've got a good idea of where it's going to end up. But yeah, it's interesting. I have great to see you, Carolyn. I hope you're well. I have 4 compost bins going at all about 3/4 full. Can't wait to get them in the garden beds. Talking about compost. Are any other petitions gaining traction as a result yet? Don't know. I think the focus is on this one at the moment. I think I can hear a Hugo bear outside. Stepping outside the studio lab. So I think what it might be is we may well be in the realm of being in break time. Don't forget, when we come back, we're going to be joining UK Urban Prepper. Said he wants to come on as a guest, which is great because I wanted him to come on a guest. So he said yes. So when we come back after the break, I've got some videos to show you. We've got loads of stuff to talk about, and we'll be keeping track on what's going on with the number as it builds up for those people on the signatures. So don't go anywhere, because we're not going anywhere. Please hit the like button if you haven't done so already. And in the meantime, go and get yourself a brew. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Meet us here, and we'll be talking about everything else in part 2. We haven't even started yet. We've barely scratched the surface. Don't go anywhere. Get yourself a brew. Welcome back, Wolfpack. Oh, yes, indeed, the 24th of November 2024 with yours truly, Drew, in the house with a Sigma Prepper channel. You know how we do. Thank you each and every one of you for being with us and all that stuff. So thank you so very much. We've also, part 2 now. Thank you for great part 1. And I did say in part 2 we'd have guests rocking with us live. And we do indeed have our guests live with us. Our very own UK Urban Prepper in the house. Who's muted?
How's it going, Drew?
Great to hear you, man. You can hear me all right, yeah?
I can hear you good. I'm through the phone, not the computer, so hopefully the sound's all right.
It's super, super loud, so it's great. I've actually had to turn you down, but I did give myself a bit of buffer decibels for those that had poor quality microphone. But you're professional now, Mike, so, you know, this is how we do. We've got Mike on the mic.
Yeah, professional with his phone propped up on a dirty high chair.
So this is UK Urban Prepper. This is his YouTube channel. This is what it looks like. This is the button you need. It says subscribed. I need to do the all. I need all. Yeah, this is what you need to do to mind people, particularly because YouTube knocks people off mine. Yours has gone up quite nicely, hasn't it? But yeah, do the old all notifications on mine and UK Urban Preppers, because YouTube's they're trying to get rid of your prepper channels, aren't they, Mike? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. They want us all to conform, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, independence and things like that, in being independent, energy independent for a start, being food independent, these things are the biggest threats to governments. This is the problem. And we don't mean to be. It's just we understand that the government has the limitations and what they can do to help the people in the crisis. And because we see so many different forms of crises on the horizon, it only makes sense that we want to prepare for that, because we can't rely on the powers that be to be there for us. That's really all it is.
Yeah, and they try and demonize us by saying we're hoarding all the supplies.
Yeah, I mean, on the SigmaPrepper.com, if you go on the SHTF Intel page, here, for example, I list all of the current threats. I don't know if you looked at this, Mike. But this is,
yeah.
I update this now and again. I do need to update it. It was June that I updated this, and I moved a few things up and down. These are the top 5 threats here. So totalitarianism has always been at the top, because, I mean, most of the other threats stem from that, let's face it, right? So economic collapse is high up there, because things have been happening. The BRICS nations doing what they're doing, the money spent on wars and things like this, and the GDP growth being what it is. It's just the inflation like it is. And then, of course, global conflict. What do you think, Mike? This might need to be stepping up a one.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it's still a bit of saber rattling, but all I can think of is if it does go to war, Starmer is not the man to lead us.
No. What are you saying? Are you saying that I got the right person for the job? as he would say. But check out UFO alien invasion right down the bottom there. This is what we've got going on. Of course, the current vote is, what do you think, Mike? Do you think we're going to make it to 2 million signatures by the time it's 11 p.m?
I want to know what you know, Drew, because when I saw this go live, I thought, 1.5? I've just checked that. Nah, it's 1.3. I don't know where he's got that number from. And then just before you went live, it was more or less exactly right.
Do you know, and it was kind of, I'd love to say that was a coincidence, but it wasn't. I'm a little bit OCD, as my long-term Wolfpack members will tell you. In fact, I went for a walk. I opened it up on the screen, and it was like, it was 945,000 signatures, right? And so I went out with Hugo Bear, and when I left, it was 955,000 with Hugo, who's now here in the studio with us. Here he is. You like Hugo Bear? We got a flap. Daddy get a flap? Huh? Have you got any pets, Mike?
No, not anymore. Just multiple kids.
Yeah, that already counts as a couple, doesn't it? So when me and Hugo went out for a walk, I had a look, and it was on 955,000, and I looked at the time, and then when I came home, and I said to a friend of mine, I was on one of the Wolfpack members on the phone at the time, when I was walking Hugo, and I said to her, I was like, I bet when I get back it's going to be over 1 million. And when I got back, it was on 1,160,000 or something, and I worked out the time of how many thousands it was going up per minute, and then extrapolate it to when I was planning to go live. And I thought, if I make it 1.55 billion, it should be about that when I go live. And then I don't have to update it, right? But yeah, these are the silly things that
the insights into an ADHD mind.
Yeah, do you know, it's funny actually. This is the design of the thumbnail, right? And you can see this, not that. This is like the original screenshot, right? And you can see the number.
Yeah.
I just put a little white thing behind it to cover over it and match the font, and then now I can make it wherever I want. Now we probably should. I might as well just make this 2 million now, innit? Yeah.
I saw your workshop. I just didn't know you'd got a time machine and not told us about it.
Well, I mean, I'm tempted to do that, you see, and then I can just. Oh no, hold on. Can we get away with that? Because otherwise, people are going to complain. You see. We can move that. Oh, we can then just move that over, you see. Right. There we go, fixed. So we'll have that as 2 million plus signatures, and that'll be ready to go later on. So we'll update that, Mike, on the thumbnail or whatever it is. Oh, man.
Here's the question for you on that one, though, Drew. Do you, although it technically should be brought up in Parliament, even if it is, do you think he will be sat at the bench when it happens, or will it be down to like the skeleton crew when, you know, Farage usually gets to talk at the end?
Do you know, there's quite a lot of things at play behind the scenes on these sorts of situations. I mean, I'm coming from a media, PR background and marketing and stuff, right? So a lot of this is relevant in terms of managing the situation, right? And so there's no way that, I mean, I'm sure you saw why we were there in the... referring back to, like, for example, even specifying the UK news here in the UK. We refresh the page. This is definitely recent. We do Control F for find on this page. Election, nothing about it apart from, no election, no petition, no, nothing. Even general, the word general for general election isn't there. So the fact that it's being completely hidden, this is one way of managing the situation to try and stop it going more viral than it already has. But things like Instagram and TikTok is just on fire with it because of how quickly it's gone past the million mark. Soon to be 2 million, no doubt, right? Happy twos, everybody. Cheers to everyone.
But somebody in your survey has ticked the happy as Larry box. I noticed as I came into the room.
I thought, wow, I was honoured though, Mike, because of course there's only one thing that could possibly be logically the case, is that Keir Starmer has joined us in the live chat and even voted and voted in the live chat.
There might be 2 of them. Hi, Angela.
Do it. Come on, Keir, fucking hit the like button. Thank you. Hey, there's no other explanation, Mike, is there? Let's face it. Dear, oh dear. Have you ever done a version just for the UK? Don't know what that's about. Have I ever done a version just for the UK? Okay. I need more data. Elon Musk posted it on his channel. X could be why it's got so much traction and visibility quickly, says Carlos. Yeah, and do you know why? This is the problem when you make enemies with someone like Elon Musk, isn't it, Mike? Yeah?
Don't make enemies with Elon Musk. He is, if anyone could be a Bond villain, he has the means to be it.
He'll just send you a voice message going, you in a whole heap of trouble now, boy. Yeah, that's all you're gonna get, and then next thing you're gonna hear is ding a ding, ding a ding, ding a ding, with all the DMs coming in from X, from people going, "Have you seen this post about you?" And this is what I'm saying, that the government has entire departments that take care of public perception, managing its perception management is a big part of that. I talked about it.
They're not getting the bonuses this year.
Well. Let's just say there's no way that Keir Starmer doesn't know that this petition exists, even though the mainstream is trying to hide it. But there is such a thing as a D-notice, which is an official thing that's handed out to the mainstream news to say that there are things that you're not allowed to report on. This was actually one of my Sigma Prepper quizzes. You'll see on my channel there's a couple that I cut out from my old live shows where I do the Sigma Prepper quiz. And there was a question in there to do with what's it called when the government initiates a note to say that no one's allowed to report on a certain story, like at all, and you're not even allowed to report. And what is it called? And it was like a T notice, an S notice, a D notice. It's a D notice, right?
I'd have got that wrong. I'd have just said communism.
So that was the kind of there is one of those in place right now for something which we're not allowed, and the problem is that you're not even allowed to say that there's even a D notice about it. Do you see? So no one's supposed to know about this. But let's just say it's something that will end him immediately if it goes public. The thing about Keir Starmer, right? It's really, really bad, and it's not just what it is so bad. It's about what it means has happened for so many months. Has been even worse when you look back at what happened retrospectively as a result of that. I can't go into any more detail. I have spoken to one of my close friends about what it is and what it is about him that you're not supposed to know, and the mainstream have had a D notice shutting it down. So this is like a legal thing that they get. It's like a restraining order, a legal restraining order, but it's specifically for the government or royal. If there's a royal story that's really epic, that'll be a D notice thing that just like anyone even talks about that, and it's like whoosh, Ofcom's going to be knocking on your ass's door. It's
just let me know what it is. I'll tell the missus. Somehow everyone will know by tomorrow. I don't know what she uses, but
I mean, it's not widely known. It's widely known in certain circles, let's just say. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same with there's some things to do with the royal family. This is why I never talk about that shit on this show, because, you know, it's already been more difficult to grow this channel than it should have been by now, right? For obvious reasons, because, you know, when you're logical and rational and understand how to do research and stuff, do you know what I mean? You're a threat already, the same as just being independent and wanting to be self-sufficient is seemingly a threat. The same as Christian families are also a threat because they tend to be not needing government because they're quite well organized and they already, you know, government wants to be the god. Do you know what I mean? Government wants to be the daddy. And so all the time you have no need for the government, you're a threat to them. Which is why they actually quite enjoy it when people are on benefits. Don't forget, the governments can print as much money as they want, right? The cup of water in the ocean of debt is virtually undetectable from a real life modern day inflation perspective. It's minuscule, and so it's much easier to print money, and so they don't care about printing money because they just print their own money. So therefore, paying people benefits isn't a problem for them. Yeah, they have to balance the books, but no, they don't, because look at America with their 35 trillion debt on the debt clock and climbing. You just keep kicking the can down the road. But the point is that you end up with when people are on benefits, you're by the very nature of that, you're at the mercy of the government, and now you're really under the control. It's like, no, you're not going to get your benefits if you don't take this pill, and no, you're not going to get your benefits if you don't do this many steps per day, and no, you're not going to get your benefits if you have. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're not getting anything from them, then you're almost like scary, because it's like, oh shit, we've got no leverage. You know what I mean? There's no what do you call it, but.
Self-sufficiency is freedom.
Yes, and I think, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but because I've lived in many countries around the world and lived different lives in that way, I feel more and more now, Mike, as though the only real solution is what a lot of other people have done, which is to leave the UK. Do you know what I mean? As in, there's so much has happened to it. There's so much that's been destroyed. That is it undestroyable? Is it returnable back to how we remember our country to be? And I suggest not. Yeah, it's just
not without a total disaster to kickstart that. I'd tend to agree. I'd be looking at emigration if things carry on.
Yeah, I mean, then this is exactly it. You know. When you flow things forward, I mean, the population's in a mess anyway. You've got the automation problem coming with the AI taking over stuff, you know, the fourth industrial revolution and everything that brings along with it, you know. You have to choose what culture, what environment and what legal system you want to be a part of or not. Do you know what I mean? And this is where a lot of people, I mean, I don't have a pot to piss in. If I did, I would already be gone. Do you know what I mean? I haven't felt at home in the UK for so many years, because after being away for like more than a decade and then you come back, it's like you realise that it's not quite as friendly as you remember. It's not quite as safe as you remember. It's not quite as organised as you remember. It's not quite as reliable as you remember. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, in comparison to other countries around the world, you realise that it's actually a pretty shitty deal, and we don't even get decent weather. And this is where a lot of this silent quitting is coming from, and it seems to be happening in the UK first and foremost, where people are just lackluster in their approach to life. It's like no one's really going through life logged in fully as the admin, you know?
Yeah, but you got to make that conscious choice. Do you stay and make a stand and fight for what's right, or do you jump ship?
Yeah. Give me a 1-2 quickly. Is it your mic or my headphone?
1, 2.
Oh no, it's my mic. It's my headset. Sorry. Dixie Dowso. What would be the point of calling another general election? I guess so people can say not Starmer. And would be the idea. That great to see you, Dixie. Thank you for joining us. But it's a good question to ask, because again, what does this even mean, Mike? You know what I mean? What's the outcome of this? And we're not we're not feeling like the outcome's going to be anything that's going to be of any consequence politically, or
I genuinely think it would, because I think a lot of people that I spoke to voted Labour because it was better than the alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that Reform managed to get seats, managed to get quite a lot of the popular votes, a lot of them people who'd voted because they didn't want to waste a vote suddenly realised there is a third option, and I think that third option would make leaps and bounds in another election.
You know, it's very similar to the Trump situation, where people voted for Trump because the alternative was even worse, kind of a thing, right? To a large degree, which is not how it's supposed to work. I mean, obviously, America's not trying to be what it's supposed to be, not trying to be a democracy. It's a what do you call it? Republic, yeah.
Yeah.
Constitutional republic.
But even Elon Musk said about the UK that the next election, that both the main parties wouldn't be in with a shout, that it would stir up the politics. That's his prediction.
Mm-hmm. If that's true, Drew, then who would be most scared of people not voting? What happens only 20%? Yes, exactly. You're absolutely right, Happy Limpet. They are scared of people not voting, because there does come a point in time where it would look like it's an illegitimate vote, is what they call it, when it's less than a certain population turnout. And it's kind of, it just shows how people are checked out of it. And the other thing as well, this is one of the things I was going to mention when I was talking about the denotice stuff, right? There's entire departments of the government that his only job is to keep their finger on the pulse of the nation. And their job is to try and gauge the perfect balance between civil unrest and taxation, basically taking the piss. So how much can we take the piss and keep them on that edge of being annoyed? And who are you annoyed at when you're annoyed? You're annoyed at government. Who is it that you want to fix? Is government. You want government to fix government. Do you see? And this is why these petitions are happening on a government website. Kind of comical in itself, right? I don't want to get into it, but do you know what I mean? When you're thinking rationally and logically, it's like you're trying to solve a governmental problem by using the government to solve it yet again. Do you see? Which is why, for me, voting has never been something. I've never been to any protests. I've never signed any petitions. I've never, you know what I mean? It's just not. It's not to say I don't believe in voting, but I kind of do, but I kind of don't. You know, it does go back to that whole, you know, 2 wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. Yeah?
Yeah. And I get that. I get that to a degree. And it's always been... And I think that's why we had such a low turnout in this last election. But I think that's because people have the mindset of, you know, what's the lesser of 2 evils? But I honestly believe people should vote, even if you go out and vote for the monster raving loony party. And if you're not going to vote, do you know what? Run. If you're not going to vote, be a candidate yourself. If they're not saying anything you like, start your own party.
Mm-hmm. And you see, the thing is I think the vote in terms of, because the UK is even worse for it being a selection rather than election, because of course you're presented with the two sides or the three sides and so on, and the winner past the post thing or whatever is just a complete farce in itself. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's like, you know, it doesn't matter who votes, it matters who counts the votes kind of thing. And equally, if voting could change anything, they would simply make it illegal, as Mark Twain would say, right?
Would you agree that the voting system itself needs a reform?
Oh yeah, I talked about it at great length as a guest on someone else's show once before about my entire plan of how I would do it. It would use blockchain technology, it would use smart contracts in terms of laying out what the policies were, the contracts that would be initiated, the funds that would be transferred to the different departments, and for the key infrastructure builds with the bridges and the roads, they'd already be pre-planned, pre-quoted for, built into the smart contract, already pre-prepared. All of the policies that you're planning, all the laws that you're going to remove and introduce, all contained in a smart contract on the blockchain, and lots of other people can create their own smart contracts. Yeah, and people can vote on the smart contracts that they think's the best one, all done through blockchain technology. So there's no faking it, there's no manipulating it, there's no changing it, there's no fuck all in it. It is what it is, right? And the best, a pure free market economics methodology in it, in terms of, you know, the best smart contracts with all the proposed stuff float to the top, right? Being voted on by literally, like when you buy in crypto and there's the number of coins that you've got, you know, the more popular one gets and floats to the top in the same way, right? Everyone gets one casino chip, so to speak, to vote on whatever smart contract suits them the most and thinks, yeah, that makes sense, right?
Too much power for the common man, that. Too much power.
Well, and the idea of that, Mike, you see, is so that then there's no getting in the way of it, right? With the idea of a smart contract, it would just be initiated on a certain timestamp where it's like election day, where the winner, the smart contract that's had the most votes on the blockchain, yeah, wins. And every one of those policies and all the contracts contained within that smart contract, with all of the funds that need to be sent to the NHS, to the highways maintenance and to the bridge building company and to everything else that's laid out in there, just gets initiated, and all that money goes straight into their accounts through the blockchain. Do you see? There's no getting in the way of it. There's no like, oh, I'm going to change my policy afterwards, and I'm decide I'm not going to build them new bridges anymore, and I'm not going to extend that motorway, and I'm not going to. Do you know what I mean? And so there's no. That would be my way of doing it. I mean, I used to do smart contract programming stuff. I don't know if you've looked at it. I know you do software development, but it's pretty straightforward stuff if you learn the language for it. I built a couple of smart contracts for doing things like asset tracking, right? And it's the perfect tool for that. There's a perfect technology. Obviously, cryptos uses smart contract and blockchain in a slightly different way.
I think the problem you have there is too many people don't care, don't read the policies. They vote for a person, they vote for a colour, they vote for a party because dad did, because granddad did. Is that not
exactly what's wrong with it? Because we're voting on emotional manipulation that's been thrust on us, and mass psychosis and PR tactics and neuro-linguistic programming and, you know, all the other bullshit that they use to manipulate you into voting someone or not voting for someone, like they've done with Trump, making him out to be some sort of criminal, and all the legal cases, the lawfare tactics being used, right? This is always pulling on the heartstrings, man. And that's the whole point of the smart contract and the blockchain, is that, no, this is like, we propose spending X on this, Y on this. Don't forget, you don't need anyone else in government. There is no government here. This is just smart contract on the internet. It rules and runs itself. You don't need any intervention. It's literally a democratic system that just initiates itself. The money gets sent out and it's transparent. Don't forget the blockchain. You can see every transaction from every department. So if everything's trackable, everything's traceable. You don't have a dog in the race because it's not a party. This is just someone's come up with a smart contract. And like, I'll give you an example of the way I would see it would be there's certain things that I think in a democracy or in a taxation system is fair and unfair. This is why I think the problem with the conversation at the moment with the protest with the farmers with inheritance tax, and people are complaining about the farmers complaining about the inheritance tax, is like, well, we have to pay inheritance tax on our property, so I think you should have to $1 million. It's like, what the fuck? No, that's the wrong fucking question. The problem is that nobody should have to pay inheritance tax for anything in the first place. Why does anyone have to pay inheritance tax? You're asking the wrong question. You're why is it you're happy to pay it when it doesn't do anything? I don't know if people are aware of this. You're not supposed to know this, but I'm going to fucking say it out loud. The purpose of taxation isn't because that money's used for anything. That money is destroyed on collection. Not many people know that, and you're not supposed to. The money collected from taxes is destroyed on collection. That's how you stop inflation. Yeah? It's just managing the money supply in the market. If you didn't have taxation, the government wouldn't be able to control how much money's in the floating around. Yeah? You see? So, because the money comes from being printed in the first place, right? That's how the trickle-down economics works, yeah? The government does it through, things like immigration, where they get a bunch of money to spend on stuff when they get to the country. They go and take that money and spend it in the shops, right? The shops end up getting profits from the new sneakers and the new leather jackets they've just bought, and the new mobile phones they get when they first enter, yeah? And so that is a way of stimulating the economy with new people coming in, yeah? You give them a whole bunch of money to go and spend. Obviously, you're printing that money at source anyway and giving it to them to go and spend it in the shops. They spend it in the shops. The people that are in the shops working in there are making money because that money's going in there. Their employees who work in that shop now get paid. Do you see? And so when that money's the money being taxed by the government at the end of that, and by the employee, and by the product on the shelf, and by the product, the store owner itself, the money that's being taxed on that is just a way of removing that money back out of the market to stop inflation. Are you with me?
Yeah.
It gets complicated, but this is really what's going on. But you're not supposed to know that. You're supposed to think that they need this money to
like it's going straight from your pocket
or some shit like that. Yeah. It's like, no, just no. Right? There was a time when there was no taxes on anything, and there was a reason for it because it wasn't needed. That's not how it works. But people have been convinced that's how it works over time, and here we are, right? But the point is, it's like even with things like the farmers thing, it's like, why are you having a go at the farmers for having a go at the government for having to now pay inheritance tax when it didn't before? When you should be saying, yeah, man, why is anyone paying fucking inheritance tax? You know what I mean? It's like we've already paid tax 1 million times on that by the time we've bought our house and paid mortgage on them with the money that we earned that was taxed when we earned it. Fuck me. And then when you die, it's like cha-ching.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep.
Cheers, everyone.
I like the whole idea, the smart contract, stuff like that, and it all makes perfect sense. But too many people would lose too much power. The only way anything like that would ever get in is a total collapse first.
Well, do you know, this is part of the plan, though, isn't it? Hold on, I've got to sort this headset out, man. It's doing me in. It's driving me crazy, man. Driving me crazy, G. Give me a 1-2.
1 2 1 2.
Yeah, it sounds all muffled, but I don't think you are. It's just my headset because it's just not in the budget because I'm such a pauper. 1.7 million signatures. I've been responsible for none of them, government. There's nothing to do with me. Nothing to see here. I never said nothing. Is that Robert McNamara in the house? It is. And our darling Maya. Great to see you, my darling. I hope you're well. Are you now back home, Robert McNamara, or are you still on your hunting trip? Let us know what Guam, rude boy. Pat Ryer, our newest VIP member. Everyone shall kneel beforth. I remember the Brian drain under Callaghan in the 70s, 90s, upper tax limit bracket. Amazing. It's not even money, it's fiat currency, 100%. Sorry, did I use the term money? That was naughty of me, unfair, wasn't it? Yeah. Don't forget, gold is the money of kings, silver is the money of gentlemen, and fiat currency is the money of slaves. That's kind of what Amphere was trying to say without saying it. Oh dear. Have you got any gold or silver tucked away, Mikey Poos, as part of your financial preparations?
Maybe.
I've got 2 ounces of silver. A magic coin. What's that? I had that bit somewhere. What did I have? Oh, here we go. What's this? I got Ethereum. But obviously
nice.
it's just a lie. My mate gave me that. I think he got it in a raffle. He got it in a Christmas cracker.
I started picking up silver about 6 months ago, but not like straight from like the bullion by post, not a big shiny piece of silver. I've been hitting up the antique stores and knowing which coins to look for, and getting it that way. It's not pretty, it's not shiny, but it all melts down and it's worth the same in the end. So I started collecting that.
This is the place that I use, or have used. I haven't for ages, but I've given my son from the age of about 4 years old, like 2, 3, 4 ounces a year, like 2 for birthday, sometimes 1 for Christmas or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bought 10, and then I bought 10-ounce coins back in the day when I was feeling rich, and then I've basically given him a couple of them out of my stock, right? And then I had to buy him some. And I haven't got any left now. This is it. I've got 2 more left for Christmas, and that's it. So and the thought of having to actually buy them now. But I just come here. See, the silver coins I like because they're very easily, eBayable or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And I usually like the silver eagles, but to be honest, you just come in here and do the best value 1 ounce silver coins. I don't like the grade B 1 ounce silver coins, best value, Bosch in here, right? And then you can see when you buy 10, you're talking £35 each rather than £38 each. Now, I remember maybe 10 years ago when I bought the ones for our son, right? Well, I sort of bought them for everyone until they all became my sons, and they were like £180 for 10, Mike. So now we're talking £350 for 10. So it's like more than double, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even in the last 6 months, that's gone up, that price on there, because I looked at them first, and it was the grade Bs I was looking at, because it's not a gift for one, it's just me keeping. But I picked up 4 1 ounce coins from a car boot sale from someone who thought they were commemorative coins for a tenner for all 4.
Oh, wow. Lovely. Because you can go on eBay right now, if they're just in the normal packaging or whatever, they're not completely fucked, obviously. They just go on eBay and they'll go for like 35 quid. If it's 38 quid to buy them on here, you'll get 35 quid. So in terms of turning it around quickly, do you know what I mean? It can be useful for that. The idea for me was that with our son, it was like starting at like 4 years old, and I thought, oh, why not? I was already doing live shows about prepping like 15 years ago on this radio show, and there was a guy on there who kept talking about it. He kind of convinced me, right? It's probably about 2011 or something. God, I can't believe it's 2024 already, Mike. I don't want to show my age, but it's like, fuck me. It's like, it seems not that long ago, but when you think it's like 15 years, it's like, wow, time's going really fast. And that was really got me into it. And then I think it was one time where he had his tooth, you know, the fairy, you put a tooth under the pillow, Mike. Yeah. And I put a silver ounce in there. And that was the first one he had. And I explained what it was, what its value was in engineering in terms of the most the most reflective material known to man, the most thermally conductive, and so on, right? And useful in industry and things like that. And and he's had a couple every year. But the idea was that when he gets to like 18 years old and he's done his driving lessons, was that he'd have enough silver there stocked up, and given the appreciation over time of precious metals, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, there's more silver sold on the stock market in terms of SLD stock than exists topsoil, right? It's a proper scam. It's thought to be about 35 to 1, Mike, as in the amount of silver that people think they own because they don't have the physical, they just bought the fucking stock of it, right? There's like 35 times more people own the ounces of silver than there actually exist topsoil on planet Earth, right? There's less ounces of silver than gold on the planet. People don't realise that. It's kind of more rare, and it's used in industry all over the place. So the idea being is that by the time he was 18, right, he would have like, I don't know, 40, 50 ounces. How much did you pay? What did you buy your first car for, Mike?
My first car.
How old were you?
You'll laugh because my first car, I was 36-year-old. I had to learn to drive really late, but it was 2.5 grand, I think.
That's not a bad amount of money. I think my first car was 330 quid. I was a nightclub DJ, and there was the DJ that did the Saturday, I did the Friday, and he was selling his car. And he reckoned it was knackered, but I said, oh, it's all right, I haven't passed my test yet, so I'll have some time to do it up. And it wasn't really knackered, it was just like one of the hoses on the radiator needed to be replaced, which I figured out afterwards. But 330 quid. So I told the nightclub owner, Brian, I said, oh, dude, can you just give him 30 quid a week out of my DJ money to Matey Boy on the Saturday? So I didn't even feel it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and for 11 weeks or whatever it was we did that for. Yeah. And I had a car, and it was like 330 quid, right? And I think my missus paid like 800 quid for her first car. I mean, we're obviously talking, in modern day terms, that 330 quid would probably be about like 900 quid right now. But the idea being is that if he's like got like, let's say 50 ounces by the time he's 18, which he probably should have, or at least 40. But let's say 50 ounces times 38 quid, it should be at least 38 quid by then. You're talking 1900 sheets, man. That's a pretty good first car, isn't it? Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
So it should work out as planned, like back when I said to, my son, this is the idea plan, this is the plan, and then you'll have some sheets. But yeah, so I think precious metals is definitely, I did the whole crypto thing, but it was more of, I was doing a lot of work with people, like creating people coins and things like that for them, smart contracts and that. And I built a brand around doing SaaS, software as a service, using blockchain technology. But then I don't know, man. I lost faith. I lost faith in the cryptos thing. Yeah. Not the technology, but it as a currency.
It's worth mentioning. It's worth mentioning for your audience. This is all dependent on what you're prepping for. I mean, if you're prepping for wealth retention and stuff like that and beating inflation, it's ideal. But if you're prepping for a literal Teotihuacan, your kind of stewed steak, is going to be worth more than somebody's silver coin in a true SHTF situation. So,
you see, this would always assume you've already got your main things in order.
Yeah.
But it's just if somebody's got $3,000 sitting in their bank account, Mike, right, in fiat currency, the point is you're better off sitting there with $3,000 worth of ounce. 1 ounce of silver, 1 ounce of gold coin, because equally with the 1 ounce silver coins, you can obviously get the 1 ounce gold coins, which is an even more efficient storage of wealth, which you're talking like 2,200 sheets, or about $3,000 for and you 1 ounce of gold.
You can't cyber attack a gold coin.
Well, and here's the thing, right? You're better off, as I show regularly on, when we look at the prices of gold, when we look at it like here over a year, right? I mean, in my case, it's been 10 years, right? So if I had been buying my son, if I'd been rich and I've been buying him a 1 ounce coin every year, do you know what I mean? For the last 10 years.
He'd be getting a Mercedes in your first car.
Yeah, we're talking 126%. Smackaroons. Yeah?
Yeah.
126% over 10 years, which you ain't getting that. That's like 10% a year, isn't it? Averaged out over 10 years. So we're doing all right. What do you think, Mike? Do you think we're going to hit 2 million signatures for this, the calling a general election petition?
I'd like to think so. I'd also like to think it would make any slight difference to anything. But, we live in hope. We live in hope.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say earlier about the fact that the Parliament are going to know this thing is out there, even though they're not reporting on the UK mainstream anywhere. The Parliament are certainly going to know this exists. And Keir Starmer's definitely going to know it exists because it reflects on him, right? So his PR team, if nothing else, are going to say, dude, we got a problem. And so... otherwise, they would have just been showing it on BBC and everything else if it wasn't a problem for them, right? Because this shows, because it shows this is an allowable public forum for people to be able to voice their concern, right? We can't do it on Twitter, we can't do it on Facebook, we can't do it on YouTube, it seems. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, they don't listen to you any other way. So I guess people feel like, well, this is the only way for us to say we're not happy with the way you're running this country. We're not happy with the fact that you come out with these policies that you say you're going to do, and then when you get in power, you do the opposite. This is what I'm getting from the internet out there.
I think the issue they're going to have is the government department of moderating this crap is going to just let it play out, because the problem you've got is this is viral now.
Mm-hmm.
By May, things like this don't usually have longevity. By May, 1.3 million of them 1.7 million signatures will have forgot about it. And that's what they're hoping.
Yeah. And there is some sense to that. However, I don't think this is being done necessarily for the benefit of the conclusion and it being talked about in Parliament. I do believe this is actually more about people voicing their absolute disdain at the way things are going, with the people being thrown in jail for doing posts and things, right? With the way the policies of immigration, with the things with the elderly and the the heating bill, the things like the inheritance tax for the farmers, the things like the scandals with all the stuff going on with having the gifts received and not thinking it, the lying of what's the name on her CV. It's just been one thing after another. Yeah,
it's been constant. Yeah,
it's just, is it a wonder that people feel the need to set up a petition like this to voice their disdain at just how things are rocking, man? And as we're seeing it tonight on the live poll, we've got rocking live in the chat tonight. So please vote if you come in on the live chat. We've got it running for you to vote yourself as to how you feel about it. I did a screenshot of it and posted it over on the Discord server, the community server for Signal Prep. It's a great place to be. Go and check it out. Boom, you'll see here. So, how happy are you with the Keir Starmer / UK government and their policies so far? Either happy as Larry, undecided, or embarrassingly appalled?
Guess which one I clicked.
Numero tres. Numero tres. So thank you for those that have fed us your memes and your quotes as well. Please get the quotes coming in. We'll need some new quotes for next global threat analysis, and of course memes as well. Keep the memes flowing, because that's what it's about. We don't want to be all misery guts and stuff. There's so many reasons to be miserable, but we like to focus on some of the reasons where we can be confident in our abilities to adapt and survive. It's a Wolfpack thing, right? You know how it is. Were you singing the Wolfpack anthem in the break time, Mike?
It's starting to get very catchy. I need to stop listening to it because I get earworms. But yeah, definitely.
Do you know, I'm hoping I'll do it by tomorrow. I've got to remaster the countdown tune. It's been annoying me for a while. It was a bit of a rush job because I spent 2 weeks just writing the lyrics on both of those, and there was a bit of a rush job on one of them, and I just don't like the quality of one of them, so I need to remaster it, which I've already done. I just need to layer it up. So I'm looking forward to it. I get passionate about silly things like break time fucking tunes, but never mind. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I like it all to be right. And thank you everyone for being with us. Jenny, in the UK there are very few coin shops.
Jenny, check out car boot sales, check out things like not craft fairs, like the underground markets and stuff like that. There's loads of little ones you don't even realise are there.
Sounds like Carolyn Rose is sharing similar totalitarianism type issues in Australia. Look, stupid prospecting laws here, RE zones catches, rezoning and stuff catches out some, even if looking on their own land. Huge fines and using satellites to detect, getting crazy. This is like when the government's coming out with things like a £200 chimney tax. If we see smoke coming out your chimney, cha-ching, whoosh, maced and tased, 200 sheets. Please, don't pass go. Don't collect 200 sheets. Give me the 200 sheets. Smoke coming out of the chimney. WTF, right? Not to mention trying to ban things like wood-burning stoves. Do you know what I mean? God forbid you warm yourself without us being able to control your switchy on-offy switch when we decide we want you to freeze to death. No. Yeah, do you know this is like in the UK they were looking at introducing a thing to ban bulletproof vests. So when people say about, you know, they're in this weird thing where they think the government's on their side and they actually like them and want to protect them, it's like, well, why is it then when you apparently they want to ban bulletproof vests, and when they were questioned on why, because why are we not allowed to? Can you imagine a caveman being told, oh no, sorry, you're not allowed to have that piece of wood that you use to deflect and protect yourself to not be killed. You have to allow yourself to be killed. And when they were questioned on it, the reason for it, Mike, was literally in case somebody does something and the police need to kill them. It makes it harder to kill them. It's like, oh, that's the point, is to make it harder to be killed, isn't it? It's amazing. If you think they're on your side, why won't they let you have a bulletproof vest, for crying out loud? It's incredible.
That's madness.
Jesus, man. So thank you everyone for being with us.
Disarm the nation. Disarm the nation. That's how you control them.
Yeah. Even the reputable coin dealers in the UK will require legal form or identity of passing the limit on cash purchases. I mean, I literally have... I bought 2 batches of 10 silver ounces, like I say, 10, 15 years ago. I think maybe... I've bought all of the coins that he's got. I think my mum, his grandma, gave him a couple of silver ounce coins as well. But I think it's a good thing to do if you can afford it. I can't afford to save anything or anything. I'm literally on fumes. But I'm just saying, if I was in a position to, as I did before, that's probably what I would do, is every now and again when I felt like I had some smackaroonies, I'd probably get like 10 ounces of silver, and if I felt like I had epic smackaroonies, I'd probably get an ounce of gold in them. Just to, you know, silver eagles are good, Britannias are good, Canadian maples are considered to be the purest silver and sell very easily, stuff like that. So hey, Margie Mulder, my darling, in the house, all the way from Alaska, my darling. What time is it?
They want us running on fumes, though. They want us running on fumes, though, right?
Yeah, but that's what
barely able to feed us.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying about. That's what I was saying about how there's government departments that their only job, Mike, is literally to gauge exactly how much you can pull from people before you get to the point where you enter into the realm of civil unrest and revolt. Do you know what I mean? And so the idea is to keep people at that limit, and so they've got constant sort of algorithms that are monitoring people's dissent levels in the comment sections and in the social media. You know what I mean? And so they measure that very carefully.
You want to monitor my channel over the next few months then, because I'm past the boiling point.
Well, everybody is. This is like, there's several ways it can go, isn't there, Mike? I mean, some people can go postal, right? Some people can just want to leave the country. Other people are going to get out there with their flags and their banners and their petition buttons. And other people are going to be just, you know, nonchalant and who gives a shit because I'm doing really well in life and I've got loads of money and I don't care about all that. You know, whatever the rules are, I'll just follow them.
Yeah,
you know?
it depends on your life itself. I mean, I've got friends, as long as they can buy a pint at the weekend and they can afford the season ticket this year, they don't care about anything else.
Gauge or gouge, says Miss Worm. Yeah. The real question is, do you hold it for them or do you give it to them?
The coins, I think, for the kids.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just happen to have those 10. And then I bought another 10, right? So every birthday, I would just get 2 out of my little lockbox. You know what I mean? They go in the same gift box every year, which is a jewelry gift box. You know what I mean? And he would know every year with this. Oh, there's my fucking coins, you know. They're boring, you know, silver ounces. Like, where's my fucking Lego? Do you know what I mean? And there's like 70 quid's worth of silver there, man. You know what I mean? It's like, so, but yeah. And obviously now he sees how that's added up with like 33 or 35 coins or whatever he's got now. And, you know, he's at an age, he's only a couple of years away from being able to drive. So like I say, in 2 years, another couple added on. You know, I think that's realistic. Buy your first car. So that's what I'd recommend people do with their kids if they've got young kids, is get them a couple of ounces of silver, teach them the value of money, as Amphir rightly corrected me earlier. Yeah. Calling fiat currency money without specifically tagging the fiat on the end of it, right? But yeah, definitely. as I say, you know, gold is the money of kings, silver is the money of gentlemen, and fiat currency, pounds and dollars, is the currency of slaves, isn't it? But I'll tell you what we need to do. What do we need to do? What's a quarter ounce? I'll tell you the other thing as well, which is something I bought for Mrs. Sigma Prepper. Have I got that here somewhere? I think so. Where's that? Oh, yeah. You're right, Hugo Bear. Oh, bless his cotton socks. Got Hugo here, look. Chilling out. Hugo chillaxing on the big chair. So this is, in here, look, I've got one of these, which again, resale value, and these are really good to turn around, yeah. And so these are a bit more expensive than buying an ounce of silver, but they do seem to turn around on eBay quite nicely, which is a 1 gram gold bullion.
I've seen them, yeah.
Yeah, 1 gram gold balloon. This is Emirates gold, which again is good. It's got holograms and shit on it. So you get it in a presentation case like this. But you're talking about £85 or something for that. So again, look at the size of it. What a great storage of wealth. Look, £85.
What do you think of it?
1 gram. You could go on eBay right now and get 80 quid for it by tomorrow. You know?
What do you think of the gold backs? You know, the sheets where they look like a sheet of money, but they've got like 1/16 gram of a gold in it. Have you seen them?
I think a gram is the smallest I'd have, to be honest. I think any less than that becomes unmanageable. Right? I can imagine like having a nice old box of those little 1 gram jobbies.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, it's only because I'm a pauper, and so for me to buy one of those as a like birthday present for Magic Hand, was it wasn't 85 quid when I bought it. It was like several years ago. It was probably about 50 quid's worth, I think, but now it's 85 quid. You see what I'm saying? When I looked on eBay, it's like fuck.
Yeah.
It's like from the shop, it's £84. Is it? Let's see if they got them on that. I did a whole show actually on my channel somewhere of how to survive the economic collapse, and it went into great detail on all the different things that you've got options for. Gold Britannia. Do they do the 1 gram? I don't know if they do the 1 gram. 1 gram.
I think bullion by post do.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, look. So you're talking about 80 sheets or something like that. Look, £85 for 1 gram. 84, 85. And this says from, don't forget. Right? So this will be based on you having a bunch. But these are always quite safe, you see. Look, pre-owned as well. Because no one cares. All they care about is the fineness of 999.9 pure gold, isn't it?
Yeah.
But again, you're still talking £81 gross, but there's no VAT, don't forget, on gold and things as well, which is good for investment. Obviously it's not financial advice, it's just telling you what I do purposely, and I personally, and obviously, you know, in terms of gold and silver, I'd quite like to have a 1 ounce gold coin just sitting in a box. just to say I've got one. I'll shine it every day. I wouldn't shine it on my shirt probably, but oh dear. Daily, I'd say buy gold in Q2. What's the quarter? Is that quarter of an ounce? Are you saying day survival?
Yeah.
The best way to buy gold is 1 gram. Oh, okay, that's what she's talking about. Yeah, gold bars. They sell them in scored. Okay, so are you agreeing with the 1 gram bars? And again, if it hit the fan, then you wanted to use it as some sort of barter. Again, having it in small denominations like 1 gram clearly makes more sense than having $2,000, $3,000 worth of coin that you can't break up. You know what I mean? But again, it's not really what would be rocking. People think that people are going to be caring about gold and silver. No one knows how much gold and silver cost. I mean, Mark Dice, I don't know if you followed him back in the day. On YouTube, give me a hey ho if you know I'm chatting about a Mark Dyson in the live chat. But one one of the most viral videos he ever did, Mike, was the fucking one he'd walk up a street in California and he'd say, you can have an ounce of gold or $100. Yeah? We just seen in it, an ounce of gold is like 2,000 fucking smackaroonies, yeah? $3,000. And everyone was choosing $100 because they don't know what an ounce of gold is. So why do you think people, when the shit hits the fan, are suddenly going to know how much gold's worth? Do you know what I mean? It's like, nah, I can't eat it. You're better off having a box of disposable lighters that'll cost you about £6 on eBay for an industrial box of disposable lighters as barter. You make more money out of that than you would fucking an ounce of gold that'll cost you 2,000 quid. You know what I mean?
I've got 2 special bags of iron pyrite for them people. Bit of fool's gold.
Yeah, let me know if you agree or disagree in the live chat, everyone. Is Magic Hand in the house? She is as well. There she is, my darling. My ex is down. Anyone else? Let's have a go. Should we have a butch? Maybe the UK government's taken it down. Do you know, there is talk of the British government obviously wanting to arrest Elon Musk, innit, right? This is why the feud's going on, right? Look, I'm loading up all right, honey.
Yeah, mine's all right.
X. It's funny because it is general election. Look, if we look on my Sigma Prepper, which I don't really follow anyone on Twitter purposefully, so that I just get the raw, unbiased, what's trending. You know, because otherwise if you're following loads of people, it thinks it knows what you're into, which you can swing it, right? So I keep it super. But look, trending, general election, 298,000 posts, right? And when we punch into that, what we need to do though, ideally, general election, we need to do min_faves.
The first thing I saw was Labour, the party of the working people. Bollocks.
Latest. Minimum faves 15. Now nearly 2 million signatures. Quite astonishing that a sitting government should be facing this level of public backlash during what should be a honeymoon period. That's a really good point, isn't it, Mike? Honeymoon period. Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is what I find really odd, because classically Labour's come in and people who don't look at the long term have always thought, oh, it's brilliant. Look, they're giving us extra this, they're giving us extra that, they're giving us extra this. Or even with their attempt at raising minimum wage to appease everyone, they're just taking, and no one's blind to it anymore.
Yeah. It's the level of. I mean, everybody now knows obviously that the emperor isn't wearing any clothes, and everybody knows that everybody else knows that we know that they're not wearing any clothes, right? So I think the whole sham has fallen anyway, right? And they're still kind of clinging on to it. I think this is where people more and more feel like they're so disconnected with reality because they're not living in reality. Yeah? This is the problem. Yeah. And it's just... And in terms of the honeymoon thing, I mean, wow, think about it, man. Do you know when you start a new job, right? And you're like a happy little fucking helper and there's no problem about what time you're leaving or what time you're getting there. Do you know what I mean? And you're trying to impress your colleagues and stuff with your knowledge and your efficiency and being nice and shit because you're on honeymoon period in a new job, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. Or probation.
Yeah. Just like you were saying, where, you want to be getting people on side, at least do the pedestal chop method, which can somewhat be applied here. Like in sales psychology, you can't really bash your competitor because you lose credibility. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's all politics has been.
Yeah, but there are methods, there are psychological strategies you can employ, yeah, that you can get away with it, right? A pedestal chop method is one of them. And so the idea with that is if you raise up the competitor first, right? So if you know that your customer doesn't really care about price, they more care about security, let's say, as just a random example, right? And they start bringing up some competitor. I can't say, oh, they're shit, don't go anywhere near them, man. They're just like, you'll get properly stung and the product's crap and it'll fall apart. It's not very believable, is it? Do you know what I mean? So if they say, oh, yeah, I'm thinking about looking at something from company, it's like, yeah, great company. I must admit, I've seen other people who have dealt with a company like that and actually had some pretty good results from them. I mean, they are known as well to be one of the cheapest companies out there. So, you know, and of course, I already know that this dude don't care about price. He's got like a Bentley on the drive. He's got a fucking, do you know what I mean? And he's got like a Rolex watch for 80 grand. You know, these are the things you're trained to see, you know. And so I'm saying, oh, they're the cheapest. I mean, they are known to have some issues with their security side of the product that they do, and a few other things. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's the payoff for the great savings that you make with a company like that. So no, good choice. Do you see what I've done there? So he doesn't care about price. So the benefit of this raising it on the pedestal to say this is the great thing about it because it's really cheap. I already know he doesn't care about cheapness. He cares about securityness. Yeah. You see? So I chop the legs away. Pedestal chop. Put-em. Because now the one thing that they care about, security, this company's not so much known for. You see? So that pedestal chop method is just another one of those psychological tactics that is used for, and you would say the same thing, an analogy for the honeymoon period, where you need to raise yourself up on that pedestal first before you start coming out with all these dodgy fucking laws that no one's going to like. If you haven't, it's like, you know, it's like trying to take your date to the next level of the next base.
Yeah.
I've never understood these American bases. I don't even know which is the best base to be on. I know first base is like just a kiss or something, isn't it? Holding hands. Second base, I'm not quite sure how it goes. But in terms of like, there's a process to moving through the bases with a girl on a date. Do you know what I mean? And you can't rush into it. You have to build trust. You have to build familiarity. Yeah, you have to build. I mean, trust is a big one. That they can trust in you to be a gentleman, to be, you know, someone who's kind-hearted.
We definitely went to different nightclubs when we were younger then, because the girls I met weren't like that.
I'm saying typically, traditionally, yeah. And so, but the point is that you need to do that first impression. I mean, my son was on a first date today. Ironically, he went to the cinema. They watched Paddington. There's a new Paddington or something. Paddington Bear, is that? Bless him. And I said, did you pay? He said, of course. Although she insisted on paying for the popcorn and the sweets. I'm like, okay, that's fair enough. And it just brought me back to that whole dating thing. And I said, oh, did you kiss her or anything? He's like, no. I'm like, what do you mean no? Why are you saying no? Why is kissing someone on? Because it was the first date. And I thought, oh, isn't that nice? It's like, you know, it's not just like on the back seats and shit. You know what I mean? It's like, and like I say, there's a process. And the government's the same. When the new government comes in, there's a process, right? Of building your reputation, building the confidence in you, doing the things that they've entrusted you to do to bring that. This is assuming you are purposefully going to shaft them later. Do you see? I'm talking about like with no,
but they've
no lube.
First base. They've skipped first base, second base, third base, and lubricant, and just gone
no
straight
lube,
in.
man. Just warmth. No warm up. No foreplay. No fuck all. Just, oh, you're here, right? I've told the waiter we're not eating. Car's waiting outside.
The thing is, they've adopted a different tactic, right? They literally, everything that's coming back on them is going back to, but it was worse before. And look at this £22 million black hole. Yeah, but it was worse before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Made your hand saying about down detector. Let's check that out. We do like to have a look at it now and again and see what Guam in the world. And again, there is a different one for the UK as there is for America. Overdrive looks like it's having some ish. NFL Network's having some ish, but no one's watching that right now because they're all watching this. There
is cyber attacks going on galore at the moment. It's not advertised loads. GB News were advertising that it was we're saying that lots of attacks are going on, and I actually got a cyber attack on my servers because I host about 20 websites.
I've got a web hosting server as well.
Yeah, we were attacked yesterday.
Really?
And, I was on the WhatsApp with Scottish Prepper and Alpha Kilo Prepper, and I showed them all the attempts coming from Russia, China, all over the place.
What is an attempt on, though? As in, what's it in the form of?
It was a brute force attack on the login for the actual FTP. Trying to get that, but I've got two-factor on, so it just started coming through to my phone like a maniac. Was this you? Was this you? Was this you?
I get about 5 a day on the admin WordPress login, typically.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know, if you use what do you call it? I mean, I don't know. My website, I built that in WordPress. I mean, I used to be a website designer, so it's kind of just what I do.
Yeah.
And that you get God, why can't I think of the name of it? The plugin for that, for the security works quite well.
WordFence.
WordFence, thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really had any problem with that. Sorry to hear you having some ish. So he reckons it's coming from Russia today. The problem is as well is that when these cyber attacks happen, this is why it's so pathetic. Let me tell you now, because I spent a long time in IT right over the years, and for those out there that aren't aware, right, I've got a website actually that shows cyber attacks, but it's not really. It's more shows you what's being hit at the time, being reported by the antivirus things. But the thing is that they always say, "Oh, Russian hacking."
Can I interrupt for a quick second? Mainstream media on the TV, GB News right now. 1 million people signed petition demanding elections, so they're reporting it. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Okay, let's refresh the UK news then and see if they're taking
That's
the
on
shade out.
GBN. Yeah.
Yeah. British man captured while fighting with Ukraine. Gutted. That'll learn you. Fucking hell. Russia ready to wage cyber war on UK, minister to say. Yeah, so do you know what? It's more likely that they'll be doing that themselves on us just to convince people it's Russia doing it. Now, that brings me on to what I was going to say, because it's so funny. I spent a lot of time. I used to sell firewall systems and lease line. Do you know, like lease line connections, Mike? Yeah? Like, £1 million a year internet connections for like ATMs and shit like that can't go down. So I spent many years doing that. Firewall systems and all that, right? And I'll tell you now, it's so pathetic when they say about, Russia hacking and all this bollocks, right? I mean, we know the DNC hack wasn't a hack, it was a leak for a fucking start, right? But the fact when they come out and say Russian hackers in 24 hours, first of all, you're not going to know where they were from. You got IP spoofing, you got things like MAC address cloning, you got things like, pinging your, Tor Onion based VPNs that are bouncing your shit off every other server. So and do you know what's funny is if you know anything within the hacking community, one thing you'll know is the first thing any hacker like the CIA, like the MI5, like the intelligence services, the first thing they do is they have their keyboard set up as a Russian keyboard. They have their time zone set as a Moscow time zone. And they fucking do an IP address from an IP address in fucking Russia. That's like default. For those that don't know, that's like default. For every hacker, they set it up as like Russian keyboard, Russian timestamp, because all that stuff comes as the packets of data, as you're probably aware, right? So it just they're all trackable things. So it just you make it look like, obviously, that you're a Russian hacker. It's so pathetic. So first of all, you're never going to know who these people were, where they lived, and what they were. So for them to come out and say, "Oh, it's Russia in like a day," yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening. That's how you know it's nonsense, right? But again, the problem they've got at the moment is not enough people hate Russia, Mike. This is the problem the UK government's got, right? Too many people see through the nonsense. Too many people see through the propaganda. Too many people have actually listened to Putin's speeches themselves rather than listening to what BBC says Putin is saying and realizes there's a massive disconnect there. It's like, shit, I've been wrong this whole fucking time. Why didn't I just listen to Putin himself? Why didn't I think of that? It's like, wow. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And here we are. And so the problem is that obviously the UK is in a big problem. This is why they're talking about conscription again. 16 to 30-year-olds. Whew. Yeah. Not for our son, though. Not for our son, though. So I know I only look 21. But you know what I mean? It's not a good fucking look. And so how are you going to get people to fight a war with a country that people understand isn't the one who's necessarily the bad guys in all this?
What's the point in conscription? We can't afford to equip soldiers. We haven't got the stuff for them to go and use.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Don't tell anyone.
Bring your own pitchfork.
Yeah. I'll tell you a secret, right? Don't tell anyone. But I used to have a recurring dream back in the day. And it's my best mate, Barry, from back in the day, right? Utah Alien, a.k.a. In the live chat. He features in it, actually. And it's actually been called up for some sort of war in this dream. And it's really quite... it's really, really vivid and realistic. Do you know what I mean? And it's like it's all hitting, it's all kicking off. You can see loads and loads of ships. Like wherever I am, it's on like a grassy hill, and then off you can see the ocean over this grassy hill, and you can see in the background in the ocean on the horizon, Mike, it's like loads and loads and loads of warships. I'm talking like fucking no horizon, just warships. Yeah. And there's these things flying towards, and there's this big old line of people, and I'm in it, and you're going up to like this wallpaper pasting table. It's like everything's just like hash setup. Yeah, this is the military. Right, I've got this little setup, and they've got like pasting tables with some old bits and pieces of kit, and you're walking along, and first of all, my glasses were broken, and they didn't have glasses, so I couldn't like feel like I was going to be perfect shot. And then they give us this gun that doesn't work. There's no stock on it, and there's no ammo, but it's just for the look of it. I'm like, what the fuck? There's no helmets by now. And so me and my best mate Barry are being sent out together in the same line as going through past this like wallpaper pasting table, like a boot fair looking thing, you know, like giving us like a strap here and a belt here and a camo jacket there. Yeah. And we're supposed to be going off to some war. I had that recurring dream for a lot. For many times, and I think how it ends is me and him snidey off right when no one's looking, and we were hiding underneath a sewer pipe that went under the road, you know, to allow water to go from one side of the other, and we're hiding in this sewer pipe where there's tanks rolling above us, and we're supposed to be in them. And that was my recurring dream. So anytime, you know, there's any talk of conscription, I have this vision, Mike, of like not getting a weapon, not getting a helmet, and my glasses are fucked.
Go back to World War II, Soviet days. Only the front row got weapons, and you had to pick up the weapon off the person that got shot in front of you.
Oh God. Oh man. Do you know, I learned a fact that I don't think is a fact, but I think was a fact, but then wasn't a fact. Right? If anyone knows...
That was complicated.
Yeah, if you know what I mean. If you know I know, you know what I know. What you know I know you mean. Right? But the thing is, it's like, you know the... what's that briefcase thing with the nuclear football? Yeah?
Oh, yeah, the football, yeah.
Uh-huh. I read something about that back in the day... Bless old Hugo Bear, look. He's sleeping on the chair. Back in the day, right, when they first designed that football, the question was how do we stop it being misused, right? How can we make sure that the bearer of it doesn't hand it over and doesn't initiate it when they don't truly believe that it should be? Do you see? Because you've got the bearer of it who is always following the president around, and obviously you open it up and it's like flink, mushroom. Right? And you know the rest. So there's a dude who carries that, right? Now that dude is trained, apparently. Yeah? How does it work? The results of him having to, because you know the president has a number in his pocket and it's got to match the same one, and he needs the number from the bearer, but the bearer's one, the bearer's one is somehow embedded in the bearer, and the president or the Secret Service have to unalive the guy to retrieve the codes. And the reason for that is it means the president has to be prepared to take that man's life to get the codes to ensure that he is absolutely certain that he wants to launch those codes. That's how it was designed. That's how it was designed to work.
Mr. President, who have you assigned for this role to carry the football? My ex-wife,
Now, are you sure you want to do this, Mr. President? Maybe we can just talk to him about it. Maybe we can just give him a call. Can't we talk him down or something? Fuck me. Oh, dear. So I tell you what, right? How long have we been rocking? Long enough, because, we reckon we can get this to at least like 1.8 million. How are you for drinky poos, Mike? Are you up for another cuppa?
I am 5 minutes away from signing off, I'm afraid, because I've got people coming round. So
yeah, and you're not an unemployed person trying to build a business at the moment, so you actually got a job. And so
well, no, I've got tomorrow off, but some of our family who are working this evening are coming here after they finish work, so I've got the after party. I've got the after party going on.
Right. Oh, so you won't be joining our after party tonight, but we will be having an after party after the show tonight for the public Wolfpack as well, not just VIP patrons, for a couple of weeks as a special after party in here. You'll see it. You've got the VIP Wolfpack rooms up here, which you'll need to be a VIP patron to join those. From as little as 20 cents a day or something crazy. Can you afford not to be? You can find that down the back of the fucking sofa. So then you got here is the public after party, which is where we'll be after the show tonight. The after party chat, where we can just share pictures or something, whatever we're talking about at the time. That was me talking about my Kelly kettle and how much I love it. And my camo netting we were talking about at the time. So if you ever look in this after party chat and it's like, what's all this stuff? It doesn't make any sense. It's because you had to have been there. Right, but the after party voice, if you click on that one, we'll be talking voice to voice, like me and UK Urban Prepper are doing right now. Who's such an awesome guy. And again, like I say, do make sure you're totally and utterly subscribed out to UK Urban Prepper. I want to get my full-on guest scenes finished for this channel, so I can, we can have our guest image, so we can see your beautiful face, Mike. What a waste. Huh?
God help us.
What a waste of a beautiful face, yeah? We could have had two beautiful faces up here, but now there's only one. I'm only joking. That's the one here, look at the beautiful face on that, innit?
That's the money maker.
He doesn't even know we're talking about him, bless him. That's an awful lot of feet he's got, isn't it? Yeah, we took him down the shop today. That was all. Me and Hugo Bear been down the shop. Did I just change my browser from something? I think I did. So yeah, how would this have a look? Make sure you do vote in the live poll tonight. We've got a live poll going for those that are just joining us over on the main Hangout on the Discord server. I usually put a screenshot on there for people who are watching this afterwards, after it's live. How happy are you with the Keir Starmer UK government and their policies so far? Happy as Larry? Undecided or embarrassingly appalled? And we'll be calling the results of that at the end of the show. I think we're going to have another short break where I'm going to get myself a cup of tea. Mike needs to get off and do some of his prior commitments. And I've got loads more to talk about anyway. So, you ain't getting rid of me that easily, guys. Come on.
No, just my voice from beyond.
Yeah, so, and thank you, Day Survival, keeping the links coming in for... good to see your channel's growing nicely as well, Mike. I think you've done a great job there. 500 odd videos you've got up there, man. I've only just broken past 100, so I'm hoping, though, my plan is to be monetized, or at least have the credentials to be monetized on this channel by at least the new year, which you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So I'm doing my daily challenge. I'm going to be doing a video or live or both at least once a day until the new year is the plan. So far so good, Mike. Have you ever tried that? It's bloody hard work.
Yeah, I have. But make sure you put a bit of time aside and come and join me on the Prepper podcast for one episode, and we'll get some subscribers over that way as well. Yeah,
I really need to try and drill down your routine. I always try and check yours to make sure I don't do a show when you're about to do yours, otherwise no one's going to turn up to mine. So I always like to check yours first. And so ideally, I'm not sure when you're... And you did say on DM earlier, didn't you, that you were busy this weekend and stuff anyway?
Yeah. I'm in Scotland at the moment, enjoying the weather.
Yeah. Oh, which is nice. So yeah, no, I'll be definitely up for that. Lovely to come on, and again, equally, I'll get mine figured out as well, Mike. So I've got my like I've got on one of my other channels. I set up the scenes. I've got a nice image of you with the person's name and full video feed if they want to, but at least I can do the profile image from their YouTube channel or something like that. Do you know what I mean? That's the plan. So
sounds good.
But yeah, it would be good to do that. Love to come on your show as well. Also like to talk to Yorkshire prepper. I keep saying that. Scottish prepper. Another one I'd like to cook up with. I think Alpha Kilo preppers joined us on the Discord server, so we should be able to get together as well, and we can spread the love, man, and spread the message, because it's just about helping people to make sure they're preparing in a way that's realistic, that's safe, that's that's the most efficient way to get prepared. And as clearly as we've been talking about in the first part of tonight's show, just how many things we need to be prepared for, with so many things hitting the fan, as I say on the SHTF Intel page at sigmaprepper.com. All the possible threats that could be biting us in the you-know-what are all listed out there, and it is many. So, what we're going to do is we're going to have a short break. Don't go anywhere, because I'm not, because we're going to wait until we see if this thing can get to 1.8 million. We're going to see if it gets to 2, but I don't know if it'll get to 2 by midnight. So we're gonna stream till midnight, but we're going to go and get ourselves another cup of tea. Hugo bears up because he heard the word tea and biscuits.
Yeah. I'll sign off before you do that, if that's all right.
Yeah, man. And then I'll come back lonely without you, Mike, basically, is what we're saying. Right. But in the meantime, it's been lovely to have you on, because I really appreciate you, man. And it's lovely to have you here. And yeah, we'll catch up on your channel. And of course, equally, I'll invite you back on here as a one-to-one. We can learn about what you're about, where you came from.
Do you mind if I do a quick plug before I go?
Oh, 100%. It would be rude not to. Go for it.
So I was organising the the Scottish Prepper Meet with Scottish Prepper 73. We were nearly full. We've just opened up another half field, so we've got 10 more pitches available now. And it's on my details, but you can also find it on Sigma Preppers. There you go. On the Discord group, all the details about that. But we've had 10 new pitches open up, so there's 10 more spaces up for grabs if anybody wants to join us.
I want to join you, but I'm going to need to raise some Streamlabs donations for the train fare. But yeah, if you go onto the Discord server, you'll see here the public lounge. And in the public lounge, we've got a room there called special events. So if you've got anything coming up, birthdays or whatever, and of course, as UK Open Prepper said, he's put it there for our convenience. And there's a link as well to tell people if you're coming or not. But yeah, it sounds like a great thing. And I really like the idea of community building, Mike. It's a big thing I've been writing about in my book, The Ultimate Prepping Guide. And then after researching it more and more, because it is a bit of a controversial thing. Some people say, Sigma Prepper, it's supposed to be about, prepping on your own, self-reliant, self-themeable. But even if it's just hooking up with your fucking neighbours so that they've got a ham radio and could look over your garden for you and just let you know if someone's hopping over the fence, would be lovely. As a bare minimum, if that's what you're going to call community building, all the way through to meetups like you got there with the tents and the pitches. I'm going to be gutted if I miss it, let's put it that way. But I've got plenty of time to prepare, because that's not until next year now, is it? So
no, it's not until next year, and we're looking for different venues as well. There's potentially one coming up in Wales.
I've got enough room for about two people in my garden. 2 one-man tents, I think will fit.
That's me and Scottish coming down. That'll do.
Yeah, there you go. Bingo. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, Mike. Thank you so much, man. Been great sport, and I hope you've had a great weekend. And
thank you to everyone who's joined. Thank you, everyone in the comments.
And please make sure you hit the like button and show me some respect. Gang signs and the letter K. So we're going to be having a short break, and I'm going to refill my cup. And when we come back, I'm going to show you some bits and pieces I've got pulled out. We'll keep monitoring what's going on with the vote. It's still ticking up. It's still going crazy, and people haven't even started sharing it on a viral basis yet. It's going to go crazy. So don't go anywhere, because we're not. We're just going to be having a quick refresh cup of tea. Thank you for an awesome part 2. Can't wait to see you in part 3. Don't go anywhere.
Radio check. Roger. Copy that. Perimeter secure. Welcome to the live show, Drew is on a break. Just a few minutes is all it's gonna take. But don't tune out, cause there's plenty yet to come. Get yourself a drink, cause we barely just begun. Wait for Sigma Prepper, he'll be back in a few. If you're joining us now, time to pull up a pew. Reject the herd, prepare the pack. Just a couple more minutes and he'll be back. In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing. When crisis hits, Sigma Preppers ahead. The wolf pack leads with a clear-minded head. No panic, no fear, no beg, no crawl. It's more than just survival, we'll be rising tall. This isn't just preparing, it's thinking through a skill. It's seeing the future, knowing this is not a drill. We don't know where or when disaster will strike, but we know we'll be ready when it's time to fight. In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing. Use your time wisely, not sure how long we've got. Maybe 2 years, maybe seconds to plan and plot. Too many threats to know which it could be. It can happen right now while Drew's making tea. Learn about prepping, it can happen any day. The wolf pack house come to lead the way. The time ticks down, so get ready with your brew. Like, share, subscribe, come on, you know what to do. In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing. Sigma Prepper, wisdom is the key. We're ready for the future, staying ahead and staying free. When the world goes dark, we won't be shedding a tear. We prep with our minds never ruled by fear. It's not the list of preps, it's the knowledge we flex. Gaining understanding, then solving what's next. No sitting by fire, eating squirrels on sticks. We'll be navigating chaos using Sigma Prepper's tricks.
In the chaos of survival, your mind is a shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.
SHTF, we break it down smart. From the big picture view to the detail in the parts. Drew Law's got you, his knowledge on tap. Real-time strategy, he cuts through the crap. From the high IQs to the tech we choose. We're ahead of the game, we never gonna lose. We stay prepared, never needing to fight. Join Sigma Prepper and we'll make it through the night.
Signs, reading tomorrow through intelligent minds. Survival's more than just having a plan. It's about how you act when it all hits the fan. Join our Discord where knowledge is prime. The wolf pack's there for you every time. In the chaos of survival, your mind is a shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.
Reject the herd, prepare the pack. We're on a mission, there's no turning back. From crisis to strength, we survive the storm. It's knowing you've been able since the day you were born. Survival's an art, we sharpen the blade. We adapt, we survive, we're not afraid. Get yourself comfy for the Sigma Prepper show. The time is counting down and we're nearly good to go. Prepare your mind, cause intelligence is the key. Owning our instincts, we don't freeze, fight or flee. Knowledge is power, it's the ultimate force. No following the herd, we just create a new course. From a single lone woman to a family of 5. Learn from Sigma Prepper and see how you can thrive.
In the chaos of survival, your mind is a shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation.
us live, let's start this show.
Welcome, Wolfpack. Welcome back. Part 3, this is. You know how we do. With your boy Drew on the Sigma Prepper channel. Do hope you've hit the like button already, and I do hope you voted in the live poll already. If not, get it done. 60 votes, which is epic in the live vote tonight. Thank you everyone for joining in. How happy are you with the Keir Starmer UK government and the policies so far? Because it looks like 1.747 million people aren't happy at all. So we're giving our viewers tonight live with us our own option to vote. This is how it looks in the live chat. I took a screenshot of it earlier and put it on our community Discord server. Links to that in the description. How happy are you with the Keir Starmer UK government and their policies so far? Either happy as Larry, undecided, or embarrassingly appalled. Let us know how you're feeling. I can disconnect from the guest call now. Thank you so very much to Mike from UK Urban Prepping, who was joining us live as a guest earlier in part 2. Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate you, man. Links in the chat as well to go and make sure you subscribe to him. He's become a great friend, great trusted prepper out there as well, building a great channel out there, and lots more to come from Mike. And of course, from Mike's perspective, looking to catch up with him as well on his channel. Again, thank you so much for our newest member, Benny, joining us over on the Discord Wolfpack server. Great community place to be, great place to make friends, and of course with all the litany of information to do with off-grid power, protection, security, whatever your expertise is, share it with peeps. Let us know what you're into, what you know about homesteading, traveling vehicles, tools and tech. It's all in there. It's an entire knowledge base. Go and add to it, go and enjoy from it, go and learn from it. That's what it's all about. Tell you what though.
Critical alert. This is not a test.
Certainly isn't. And I'll tell you what, it's really kicking off over there with a call to general election. Look. Try again. Call to general election. Look. 1.749 million signatures. It's not stopping. I thought it would have slowed down a bit by now. Being nearly midnight here in the UK, so a lot of people are getting themselves asleep to wake up as good little tax slaves tomorrow. Dear oh me. So we've got Hugo in the house with us as well. There he is. He's just lifted his head up to see what we're talking about. We're talking about you, mister. Huh? Talking about you. Did he get caught? There we go. Your little dinosaur claws. Look at his dinosaur. His fingers are as long as mine, look. Lich. Yeah. He's chilled out. I haven't even finished brewing my tea yet. I've got 2 tea bags still in there, look. No messing about. So we can't even do our proposing a toast. I've still got 2 tea bags floating about in there. Yes, I put the milk in first. Yeah? What about it? Got a problem with it? Yeah? I was taught by the master of all tea makers in the whole wide world. Actually, he was like a coffee connoisseur dude from some special place that did coffee tasting. And he said to me, you know, you should always put milk in first because the boiling hot water kills the flavour on tea bags. I've always remembered that. So I put the milk in first and the sugar in first and the tea bags in first, then whack the water in. It takes a little bit longer to brew, but why do you think I use 2 tea bags instead of 1? But do you know what? 2 custom made music tracks for the break time equaling 5 minutes and 50 seconds still is not quite enough time to make tea and get back again. So I have to brew it back in the studio. You're right, Hugo Bear. Can I help you at all? Huh? I think he thinks he's going to be getting some. Yeah, because sometimes he gets biscuits. Right. Sorry for the delay, everyone. I now have successfully brewed and stirred my tea, ready for our love, peace and progress to the pack. Thank you everyone for being with us. Cheers everyone. Love vibes to you all. Yummy. Not as yummy as these official Sigma Prepper Mega Mugs. You can get them over on a Discord server. Links in the description of this video as well. But check it out. When you go on the Discord server, you go down here to the exclusive merch. There's a link here where you can check it out. Get yourself hooked up. Yeah? Don't be shy. It's Christmas. Yeah? This is the one. The one at the top is the official one I'm drinking from. This is the mega mug. This is like 20 ounces. No expense spared, man. Yeah? If you've got small little piddly weak arms, you probably want to go for the large rather than the mega. Just saying, yeah, because it's quite a weight. Cheers, everyone. Right, I was just getting a couple of things set up for you. We had some memes earlier on during the Global Threat Analysis Report, SHTF Intel. But I did, I just screenshot a few things over the weekend that I wanted to share with you. There's a few here. And I just want to get your thoughts on some of these things. I should have had these downloaded before. Okay, I've got a Russia military target map of the UK as well. I don't know if I agree with it though. That's why I want to share it. There's another one there. Might as well have that one. Okay, that'll do us. Right, I've got some goodies for us. I'm going to need to close some of these windows down though, because it's getting way out of control. There's no need for it. We need some organisation here. Thank you to everybody who's been voting the live poll and who's hit the like button for the show tonight. Really appreciate each and every one of you being with us. There's so much going on in the world right now. There's so much to be made aware of, and there's so little time to get our preparedness level up to a point where we're truly feeling like we're going to ride the storm. And a storm it is really kicking off, and it doesn't seem like there's any holding back of anything at the moment. So I think it's the time where we need to be super vigilant. Don't forget, we will be having an after party after the show as well tonight. Not long. I'm going to share some of these videos with you that I've got from the interwebs. And we'll talk about it. And then we'll have our after party and we'll chat about other stuff behind the scenes that's going on. If I can get this folder to open itself up. Okay, we're in business. Sorry. How are we looking for that? We're looking alright. We can mute the guest mic now. These are just things that I randomly screenshot or download that I see that I think you might enjoy. Here's one. Jaguar sales.
No, we have nothing to do with the commercials, sir. That's the marketing department. That's at the corporate level. This is the dealership level. I don't know what they were thinking. No, we don't have any in pink. Oh, you're kidding with me. Hello? Jaguar Land Rover. Yes, we do have a F-Pace in stock. No, the seats don't have dildos on them.
So it's still getting hammered out there. The Jaguar rebrand, as I mentioned the other night, is still playing a role on the interwebs at the moment. Let us know your thoughts on that. Little meme here that's classic. We had memes in the SHTF Intel. Don't forget, if you would like to share some of your favourite memes, you can do that as well on Discord server. Look, just go into here, your memes. And you got to go to Animal Lovers first, though, to share. Yeah, look, nicely done, Dad. Here's Hugo Bear and Pip with my dad. Look at Pip's little face. Look at the size difference of these two. And they get on so well. It's beautiful. Thanks, Dad. I really appreciate that, man. Let's get some Wolfpack business going on there. Yeah. So thank you for sharing your pets. Thank you, Kelly. I must do some of our cats on there, actually. But yeah, you can share your pets. But once you've done that, you can go into your memes and you can share your memes as well. And then we show them on the SHTF Intel report. So get that done. But here's one, like a video meme, if you like.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Oh dear, let me crank that up a little bit. Let me crank it 10 decibels. It's pretty quiet, this one, isn't it?
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
And you know, that is enough to get maced and tased, as we know now in the UK. And this, to be honest, this whole debacle nonsense of things like that are exactly the reason why we are now finding ourselves in a situation where virtually the entire UK has had enough, and they're calling a general election, or the petition is to call one, just to get rid of this government who is just going against everything they said they were going to do. As this petition says, I would like there to be another general election. I believe the current Labour government have gone back on the promises they laid out in the lead up to the last election. And obviously 1.752 million other people are agreeing with that right now. And partly because of these policies that don't make any sense. They don't benefit the people of the country by any means. Neither our standing on the global stage, neither our economy. So there's a lot of reasons to be wondering what the hell's going on. And particularly when we're being, you know, properly sold out. This is from the Russian ambassador, right? So have a listen to this.
So are you saying now that Britain is directly involved in this war?
Absolutely. Britain and UK is now directly involved in this war, because this fighting cannot happen without the...
So there you heard it. This is Litch.
So are you saying now that Britain
this is Litch.
is directly involved in this war?
Absolutely.
This is the Russian ambassador saying we are absolutely now involved in this war, right? So what does that mean? Well, I guess one thing it means is that we're going to need to be worrying about what sort of targets that Russia would be looking at for the UK. This is what one person thinks. Russian nuke target, look, I just screenshotted it. Let us know where you are. So you got number 1, Liverpool. I don't know if these are in order of when they would hit or whatever. You got Liverpool, Cardiff, Manchester, Southampton, Leeds, Newcastle, Bristol, Sheffield, Swansea, Hull, Teesside, London, Edinburgh, York, Nottingham, Plymouth, Dover, Cambridge, Birmingham, Belfast. Yeah, there's lots of people who've got different ideas of what they think the Russian nuke target looks like. There's another one here which I'll show you, which again speculates on. I mean, you say speculate. I mean, to a degree. There are some logical ways to discern what would be most likely target, and of course they would be things like key infrastructure and arterial routes for supplies, the ports that bring the supplies in, the organizational spearhead of really the military, which would be in the form of the bases and things like the military ports, the military airports, you know, communications satellite, ground satellites and things, radar, just the usual shit. Maybe power stations. So this is another speculation of what the targets for the UK would look like for Russia.
Fylingdales in North Yorkshire, which would likely be hit with a 150 kiloton airburst nuclear warhead, destroying the electronic early warning radar system that the US and UK rely on to detect Russian ICBMs. This would kill about 40 people and injure around 690. Next is His Majesty's Naval Base, HMNB Clyde, the UK's primary submarine base. This base would likely receive 2 nuclear weapons, one airburst to destroy facilities and a ground burst to irradiate the area. This attack would kill about 3,300 people and injure around 13,000. HMNB Clyde is crucial as it's the UK's only ballistic missile submarine base, housing significant facilities and expertise. Another target would be RAF Lakenheath, an important airbase that would also likely receive 2 nuclear weapons. The first would destroy the facilities, and the second,
That's the nearest to me.
radiologically dirty, preventing future use of the airfield. This attack would kill
I'm in the
about
southeast.
3,500 people and injure around 7,000. RF Lakenheath is primarily a U.S. base, housing 4 fighter squadrons of F-35 and F-15 fighters. The final counterforce target would be HMNB Portsmouth, which would likely receive a 150 kiloton airburst nuclear device. This attack would kill about 55,000 people and injure around 100,000, significantly impacting the Royal Navy, as this base houses the headquarters of 2/3 of the Royal Navy fleet.
So, again, these are other speculations and, logical people's ideas of what the targets are likely to be. I've seen a lot of different ones floating about in terms of what people think is going to be the most likely targeted locations. And Kaz are in the house. Great to see you, my darling. Hasn't South Korea also sent troops to Putin? I think North Korea. Danger, danger, Will Robinson.
Critical alert.
Critical alert.
This is not a test.
Flat Cap Gaming in the house still with us. Good to see you. I'm in Hull, says Stephen. Stevie-O, sorry. It will not just be targeting population centres. No, I agree. It's not a good look on the world stage, is it? I think it would be more strategic than that. I mean, again, Russia's already talked about the fact that it has, dead man switches and explosives already set up on the UK coast, ready to go, same as they do have on the east coast of America, to create a man-made tsunami, which will do most of the work and take out the power stations that are usually typically located on the coast for the purposes of using water for cooling and stuff. If they choose Southampton, that's me gone. Yes, Pompey, absolutely. I mean, Miss Worm was saying the other day where she is in terms of, proximity to London and things like that, and Portsmouth. Yeah, because, we have to allow for misses as well. We have to allow for maybe plus or minus 50 mile straying of these things, yeah? I mean, when we look at what it actually looked like with these, this is essentially, I've given myself hiccups. It's so annoying, it's not even funny. But I've given myself hiccups. But it's like I was showing you yesterday, on the show yesterday. This was the ICBMs from Russia coming in. So this is what we'd be looking at. And you can see in terms of, the targeting and the spread, this is a 6 clusters of 6 payload. You'll see about 6 at a time coming down. Fudum. So you can see that we're quite a way back as well from this video camera. This is another angle look, and you'll see just how fast these things come in. And so it's quite a large area to spread. But obviously these aren't nuclear by any means. But I'm just saying there's going to be a certain allowance for being off target. So even if you don't live in the middle of London and you live on the outskirts, not to suggest that London would be necessarily much of a strategic target, because not an awful lot goes on there apart from the financial, but hitting London would destroy the global financial markets, which wouldn't benefit Russia either. So, as was said there, as Mike said actually, yeah, population areas is not strategic use of assets, right? Has ever been to Butlins, Bogner has had it. Brilliant. An EMP makes more sense economically. Well, the EMP is more something that just comes as a preliminary to take down the defences, essentially, that would be used to protect against the ICBMs coming in. And so, yeah, you're right. It would start with an EMP, but it'd be followed within about 20 minutes with everything else kinetic, right? But yeah, we have to expect the grid to go down. Even if the governments shut it down themselves, right? They would shut the internet down just to stop information getting in or out. I've spoken about this before. I can't actually see how modern day warfare would work with the internet the way we've got it, right? I mean, we've all got friends who live in all sorts of countries. I've got friends who live in Russia, who are Russian. I've got people who live in Thailand, people who live in Italy, people who live in America. all over the place. And so if war was kicking off and it was doing it like that, all raining down, and like, you've got people on social media doing a tweet showing like 20 Apaches flying in a particular direction, right, and uploading it on Twitter. It's not very good for the military with their tactical intelligence to be having people posting exactly their movements of their military assets, with people being allowed to just video rockets flying through the air and big sorties of fighter jets taking off and heading in a certain direction. That's all military intelligence. And so I can't see how they're going to allow the internet to just stay rocking and everyone just sharing what would be seen to be military intelligence of where all the assets are and where they're going. I can't see it happening. Yeah? He's dreaming. I could hear him twitching about in the background at the corner of my eye. He's just dreaming, bless him. Let's try and catch up with the... you know what's scary? The fact that no one got the alert. Could it mean that they did not detect it? How can they detect it? It's like Mach 10, man. Hypersonic starts at Mach 5. Moving to left of 19, then... What was 19? You're going to make me open it again. I can't even see 19. Birmingham. Left of Birmingham. Industry can be bought in from abroad. Bombs that make sense in a place like... Yeah. Well, this has taken a cheerful turn, says Ms. Worm. Pat Wright in a house. Let's hope he does not do anything to Parliament building on Wednesday between 12... Oh, there. UK Open Prepper. You'll know when ICBM is coming towards my house. That will be my first and last nude live stream. I'll be with you, man. I mean, not with you, but yeah, man. Gotta go out in style, innit? Spetsnaz Commando raids on the gas terminals, gas blowers and European grid interconnects. Yeah, that's another way of going. And of course, we're already seeing economic wars. We're already seeing information wars. We're already seeing cyber wars, right? There's a bunch of fourth and fifth dimensional warfare tactics already in play and have been for some time. Weather altering will play a part too. Yes, weather wars. Absolutely brilliant, Carolyn Rose. Good one. Yorkshire Pud, desolate moors, be safe then. I think the only thing safe is to be burrowing ourselves underground. If we're talking nuclear, which is the obvious escalation. And if you believe what I was telling people 3 years ago about the Thucydides trap that we've been in for some time with the dying of our empire here in the West and the up and coming empire challenging that position, it typically, historically, always ends in some form of conflict and war. So I'm not surprised to see what we're seeing, which is why I take it seriously and do wonder if it is all part of the play. And of course, before you can crash the economy to create a brand new economy, you first need to destroy the old one. And a good way of doing that is through a war. So all these things do seem to be lining up with things that have been talked about, conspiracy theories that have been talked about in the past. Seem to be somewhat lining up with actions and realities today. Where does Keir Starmer live though? Asking for a friend. Good, I flipping hate the Lloyd's building. Oh dear. I definitely believe weather modifications play a huge part of controlling us in wars. Yeah, I mean, look at what they did even back in the Vietnam War. They had Project... whatever it was called. Mockingbird, was it? No. Popeye? What was the one where they flooded out the trenches? Yeah, with cloud seeding and, they were doing that shit back then. So believe me, they're going to be doing all sorts of stuff right now. Yeah, closing comms would be priority number one. Yeah, I'm glad you agree. I think that's definitely the first thing that will go. And this is why the other night, was it last night? When was I talking about my communications? I did a full rundown on my proposed, what I'm prototyping at the moment, the tactical surveillance and communications kit, Sigma Prepper. And we're talking about that at length, things like the mesh-tastic, mesh hopping data senders and things for an alternative to text messaging, with the grid being down and the cell towers being down. But you're limited in range for that, you know, maybe 10-mile hops if you're lucky with the right antennas. But if you've got a community of people in your city or town, and there's a few of you, then those messages can hop between holders and things. So there's things like that. The ham radio communications, of course, as well, is important when the grid goes down. Yeah, it's going to be the first thing they do. Drew, what about these alert channels that think they watch nuke planes on flight radar website? Laughable, yeah. Because to be honest, flight radar is only based on the transponders that are on the aircraft, and they're kind of like a voluntary thing, but not. Yeah. You can turn them off. It's the same with shipping. You see the warships, their transponders basically turn on when they come near the ports, or they're going down a Suez Canal, they have to turn them on. But other than that, they just turn them off, military stuff. So you wouldn't see them on there anyway, right? You do see some ones on there. You see some funny flight patterns that people analyse, and you got to wonder what they're up to. But Portsmouth is even closer to me, says Kelly. Cat Flap, logically Portsmouth and St Andrews, the nuke sub bases, yeah. So that's not a good look for you, Kelly, is it, if you're near Portsmouth? Was that on that map then, was it? Why can't I see Portsmouth on there? I'm seeing Plymouth. So that's why this is nonsense, isn't it? Because it hasn't even got Portsmouth on there. It was the other one, wasn't it, that had that? There was this as well that I just screenshotted, some dude talking about it. Look, and now little Macron has authorised French missiles against Russia. This is properly turning into a world war, isn't it? And don't forget, just a few nights ago on one of my shows, I was talking about all the stuff that had been sent to Ukraine from other countries, yeah? So I went through this the other day, didn't I? Right, looking at all the stuff that all these countries have sent to Ukraine in both financial aid and military aid and ammunition and tanks and, you know, MRAP vehicles, you name it, that's been sent there. I mean, look at the state of it. This is Australia's list of stuff. Austria, Azerbaijan, Belgium is just a look at the state of it. Yeah, I mean, I have 40 armoured personnel carriers, 80 mobility vehicles, infantry jobbies. You got mortars, ammunition. Oh, sorry, that was the other one. Jet aircraft. Look, training for the pilots on F-16s. Plus 30. Look, they've obviously planning for it to last a long time. 30 F-16s pledged by 2028. Talk about say the quiet bit out loud, innit? Plus 100 million euros allocated for the maintenance and support of F-16 fighter jets. So that's just Belgium, look. And then you've got Bulgaria. I wonder if they've got any dates that it's being spread out over that give stuff away what they're planning. But it's obviously being planned to go beyond now, isn't it? Why are they pledging stuff up to 2028? Cambodia. Who's this? Canada. Jesus. So we went through this the other day and was quite amazed at just the number of countries involved, because of course that's what turns it into a world conflict, a global conflict, a world war, not just a skirmish between two countries, right? Because when you've got all these countries chiming in against Russia, basically, there's no wonder that the way Russia sees it is that, you know, if these countries are helping Ukraine in the way they are, then I kind of have to agree that that is as though those countries themselves are at war with that country. This is the very nature of a proxy war. That's the definition of a proxy war. And again, Estonia, look, it's just so many countries. Finland, all sending all this stuff. It's just lists and lists and lists, right? France. Like I say, Macron, that was what just sparked this whole thing off for me to even bring this up, was the Macron thing, now all himself. So you've got Storm Shadow missiles flying in from us, the UK, that we gave to them, and now you're going to have goodness knows what missiles flying in from little Macron. Yeah? And for those that missed it, we talked about that last week. During the week, we were looking at the... these are the British Storm Shadow missiles that I say we, but that's how Russia's seeing it, and the foreign minister said it, wasn't it? Is that as far as they're concerned, we're the ones sending them in, we're the ones involved in the war. This is what they sound, look. So this was the Storm Shadows that Ukraine sent into Russia, whizzing over someone's farm. I mean, this is what it'd be like for us, just seeing. It'd be like what it was like World War II, when you used to hear Spitfires coming and seeing Spitfires flying overhead. You know what I mean? It'd be like that. It would just be like self-guided missiles and shit flying overhead. You know, terrain-hugging missiles that we're seeing flying overhead on the way somewhere. We don't know if they're enemy missiles, and this is the part of the probably a good time to start familiarizing yourself with Su-35, MiG-29s, Su-30s and stuff like that, so you can get an idea of the silhouette of some of these fighter jets, so you can actually, when you look in the sky for the future purposes, understand whether that's a friendly or foe fighter jet in the sky. So you know what the difference between a Typhoon is and a MiG-29. You know the difference between an F-22 and an Su-35. You know, stuff like this. This was something back in. I seem to have got tangled up here. This was something that was a big thing back in the day, where the general population... This is not happening. I'm going to have to unplug it because I'm caught up in my chair. Hold on. There was a time where in World War II they were delivering these little booklets, and I had some at home. I had, these weren't the things from the government, but I had these books of all the planes. It was like... a really thick, small book like that, and it had every single plane at the time. Yeah, biplanes, and, you know, all the way up to Spitfires. And this is like 30, 40 years ago. And there were things similar in World War II given to people so that they could be familiar with the silhouette in the sky, so they understood what was friend and what was foe aircraft. Because otherwise, how would you know if that's like a friendly Spitfire flying overhead, or whether it's like a German... thingy-bob, right? We might even find ourselves needing to start catching up with ourselves on that front sooner rather than later. Another big thing at the moment seems to be, I heard somewhere that the UK was going to make it illegal to say anything bad about electric cars. Can you believe that? Car manufacturers and sellers have launched a new initiative to promote the benefits of driving an electric car, right? And they've got this whole PR thing they're going to put out to try and convince people about how more efficient it is, and like gloss over all the actual physics and electronic engineering bits. Yeah, don't worry about that. It's more efficient. That's all you need. Don't ask any questions, right? It's more efficient. That's all you need to know. Don't look into it. Don't think it through. Don't question it. Right, this is basically what's coming, because it's all falling apart for them. And obviously with Jaguar doing their rebrand, and of course they've chosen to be EV only as a brand now, and that's from great pressure from governments and global organizations such as things like the WEF, who have incentivized governments with the carbon taxes and carbon credits, and the way that they're scamming all that shit together is how they're going to be manipulating big corporates to do exactly what the agenda says they have to do, or else. And, you know, what's his name from BlackRock was quite open about how they are using DEI to manage the culture of the corporate complex, yeah? This is like, nothing's real anymore. Everything's just so fake and manipulated. It's becoming really quite annoying. And check this out, talking of going green. It's funny, isn't it? eBay to ban private e-bike sales over fire fears, because EVs never set on fire. Ever. Yeah? And if you ever say that they do, you will be maced and tased and put in prison for up to a year for saying anything bad about electric vehicles, right? But electric bikes is alright, we can slag them off, that's alright. eBay will clamp down on the sale of e-bikes and e-bike batteries in the UK from 31st of October, the BBC has learned. The firm says that they are only eligible business sellers. Don't they call that a racket? Only eligible business sellers will be allowed to list them after this date. It did not explain what the necessary criteria would be. Yeah, what makes you an eligible business seller? E-bikes, which have electrically assisted pedals and are battery powered, have soared in popularity, but incidents involving battery fires have also risen. Funny that, isn't it? Funny that. No restrictions on buying. Does that mean that you're not going to be able to sell electric vehicle car on eBay anymore either? Because of that? What's going on? Yeah, see, Jenny Simon again, like I said before, the cyber warfare is another part of the warfare, as well as the economic warfare and information warfare. But there's not really any benefit to things like computer viruses. They're very, very targeted attacks if they're being done. Then they're not really worried about people like us, normal everyday citizens using the internet and their computers for normal business operations. They're more trying to break into, you know, intelligence systems and key infrastructure, and you know, the information warfare perhaps plays out amongst the normal populace on social media and things. But I'd be running, not posting, regarding our 12-minute warning. I don't think we'll get 12-minute warning, to be honest. Popeye was it, thank you. Jonathan Hayes in the house. Just tell the farmers where Keir is saying deliver fertiliser, innit? Oh, French style, because you know French did that, didn't they? They sprayed all the old all over the governmental buildings and things. You see a good point as well. We talked about that the other night, didn't we? Flat Cap Gaming saying a good war can keep Prime Minister in power if managed correctly, as it can keep an election transition of power at bay in America as well. Flat Cap Gaming, quite handy, isn't it? Yeah. So, Amphere network app on UK voice over internet protocol doesn't need to be taken down. Just the numbers being forwarded to the wrong number. Nelly, that was perfectly written. I read it in Popeye's voice. Old Scarlive. Hey, all of you preppers, has anyone got chemistry sets and know how to make penicillin? Might be a good idea, just saying. I don't know, I've typically just bought them in a packet. It's a lot less hassle, but I don't know what the sell by date is on it. So that'll be one reason to make it yourself. But I'll just be worried about something going wrong. Carolyn Rose, the flies outside last evening were unbearable. Must stock up on repellents, citronella, etc. Though are flammable. Woomph. And carcinogenic, girlfriend. Put some coconut oil on your skin first to create a barrier, and then put the other stuff on it. That's what I recommend. They need it to kick off before Trump gets in. Yep. They're doing the best they can to attack Trump's dream team that he's putting together, and the next phase will be to, you know, Robert McNamara, where's my Wolfpack family? We have plenty of room in Missouri. I'm on the way, Robert Poos. I'm on the way. Plus guests, Robert? Absolutely. I'm in his RV. No, it's not empty. I was going to say, the RV's for me, man. Me and you, Robert, will be playing cards, chess, whatever. I don't mind. So to summarise, USA, UK, Germany and now France are funding and supplying Ukraine. China, North Korea, ditto for Russia. How is this not a world war at this point, isn't it? Right, this is by definition proper full-on proxy war. there is only one phase left to it. And I don't want to say it out loud. Oh, it would have been devised ages ago in terms of the target list. I mean, they'll have all sorts of contingency target list for the target list as well. There will be several tens and tens at least of people whose full-time job it is just to identify and re-evaluate targets on their list. And particularly now. Full chat. Catch you later, Mr. Urban. Lovely to have you on the show tonight. And we'll get together again super soon. Thank you so very much, Mike, for being with us. Such a top dude. Plus, we have created so many resistant superbug strains. Yeah. The problem, I think, ran out of bodies to operate anything. Right, I'm slowly catching up with all the chat. I do apologise, everyone. Japan's best PO, yeah. My mum remembers diving under the kitchen table when the doodle bugs were flying overhead. Still can't believe she's now living in the EU for a fright. Both my parents were kids in London during the Blitz. Oh, man. That idea, innit? Let's burn the coal to charge those EVs via grid-connected charging points. Yeah. Catch you later, Polonium. Right, John, we are getting through it slowly. There's all sorts of conversations going on in there. It's lovely to hear you all, to see you all together and sharing the time with each other. That's what it's all about, getting together. I'm doing my daily video challenge. There's always seems to be something going on in the world every day. So, tea tree oil, first line of fly attach, is it? Bedtime for Miss Worm as well, so cheerio, my darling. It's getting to midnight here in the UK, so rightfully so. And we need to be getting rocking with our after party after the show, which we're doing straight after this show. After party, voice chat here. You'll see us all pile in there if you're up for it. And we'll be chatting about whatever takes our fancy. This is where it's happening after the show. It's usually only something reserved to the VIP patrons, but we are kicking it off for everyone for a couple of weeks while we're doing our little 30-day or up until New Year challenge. 2024 challenge, basically, right? So thank you to everybody who's been with us tonight. I appreciate you coming together and sharing in the chat what's been going on. So we need to call the live poll we've had running tonight. We've had a tremendous response of that. 62 votes so far. It's your last 10 seconds to get your vote in, but I think we're going to call it now. So let's take a screenshot then of how it ended up, which was, let's pop over to the main hangout on the Discord server. Let's paste her in. Final poll results. And this is how it looked. So, how happy are you with the Keir Starmer UK government and their policies so far? We got happy as Larry, 3%. Super surprised to see that. Undecided, 6%. And embarrassingly appalled. I'm the one who chose these possible answers. Embarrassingly appalled. Won it by 90%. How predictable was that? But yes, it does show the country consensus, basically, in terms of, you know, how much has gone wrong, all the policies that have been changed, the promises that have been broken, and just people's general level of just not feeling joyful in the UK. There's not a lot to be joyful about, and so there's so far 1.7 leading up to 1.8 million signatures of people saying, do you know what, we're really not happy with the way things are panned out, so time to be right. So that's basically what we've been chatting about. So thank you to everybody who's joined us. It's been lovely to catch up with you all. I hope you've had a lovely week. We've got so much planned for next week. We'll have our usual range of videos that we do in terms of our selection. I'm not sure. Trying to get the right thing. I can't see all the way over there. So this is the channel. We have various during the week, so we'll have some lives coming up this week with our campfire catch-ups. We have our global threat analysis, which is kind of what we've been doing today. We've got the live in the woods ones as well, which will either be a dog walk in the woods chatting about what's going on with Hugo Bear, or I'll be sat in a chair in the woods late at night with the lighting equipment and everything live if it's not too cold. And of course we also have things like our live in the lab. I've got loads more to be looking at in the lab as well this week, to be catching up with and sharing with you fine people. So do catch up with us during the week. Please hit the like button if you haven't done already. It's been lovely to see you all, and please do subscribe if you haven't done already, because you know, basically you'll never see me again if you don't. Yeah, they'll never find me again. So I've been Drew the Sigma Prepper. Please hit the like button on the way out. What can I say? Love, peace and progress to the pack.
Reject the herd, prepare the pack. Click the like button, it's as easy as that. Check the description for the links you need. Follow my socials, subscribe to my feed. From a single lone woman to a family of 5. Learn from Sigma Prepper and see how you can thrive. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing. Prepare the pack. Click the like button, it's as easy as that. Check the description for the links you need. Follow my socials, subscribe to my feed.